Please postpone this thing.
Why?
Give us a chance.
No.
I've got to warn the other adults.
Your day is past.
Give us a year. Give us 6 months.
We take over the world within a week. If you don't like it, you can get off. Goodbye.
Hello? Hello? Listen, everybody. Listen to me.
Theater 5 presents Rebellion Next Week.
You're going to find it very hard to believe what I have to tell you, but you've got to listen carefully. It's about little Mary Newhall, a high school student in the town of Tewksbury. My name is Ethan Miller, and I teach English there. Mary is just a little girl with a C+ to C- average. To give you an idea of what she's like.
Gosh, Mr. Miller, you mean in only 3 weeks we've got to read a whole book and then think about it and then write a book report? 2 whole pages.
That
Golly.
is Mary Newhall. You'd never think that every adult in the civilized world is in danger from the activities of that little girl, now would you? Well, listen. That day when she stopped after class to ask me about the book report.
Well, how short can the book be, Mr. Miller? I mean, can I report on The Man Without a Country?
Oh, well, that's a short story, Mary. You will report on a full-length book.
Oh. Well, all right then, Mr. Miller, but golly, all the teachers give us so much work.
Oh, Mary. Mary, did you leave this notebook here? Mary! Oh, well. I wasn't sure the notebook I discovered belonged to Mary, so I looked in it. It was filled with names and addresses. Addresses in our country and Canada and Europe, Asia, and Africa. And that puzzled me, but it was Mary's notebook, all right. There on the front was a sticker saying, "I love Paul." And in a teenage scrawl that I recognized, her name, Mary Newhall. I happened to live near the Newhalls, so on the way home I took the notebook to her house. Her father told me that she was in her study over the garage out back, so I went out there, climbed the stairs, and... When I got no answer, I tried the door. And then I realized that Mary hadn't heard me because she was in a room beyond the one that I was in. A room with a padlock on the door, but unlocked right now. And as I went toward it, I heard her
Frank,
talking.
The logistics of the situation will necessitate further delay. Oh, no, Frank. The consensus amongst our enlistees here in America is that the revolution need be postponed only 2 or 3 days maximum. The hypothesis on which we intend to proceed... Oh.
Hello, Mary.
Frank, hold on a moment. There's an adult here. Stay at the phone. I'll call you back.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt your phone conversation, Mary.
Oh, golly, Mr. Miller, you made me jump.
You left your notebook at school.
Gee, where's my notebook? Oh, gosh, thanks a million, Mr. Miller.
There certainly are a lot of addresses in that notebook, from all over the world, too.
Oh, yes, they're pen pals in the Beatles fan club, all over the world.
Mary.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
Mary, I heard you talking on that phone.
Oh, gosh, that's embarrassing.
It was very strange talk for a young girl.
You mean all that stuff about revolution and everything? Oh, that was me and my friend Frank. It's a game we play over the telephone.
No, Mary. I don't know what was happening when I came in here, but it wasn't a game. I heard words like logistics and hypothesis and other...
Gosh, I don't even know what they mean. Frank and me, we learned all that stuff out of a book.
Oh? And who is Frank?
Oh, he's just a boy. You don't know him. He's younger than me. Then I...
Mary.
Yes, Mr. Miller.
Why has the dial on that phone got only letters on it? Why hasn't it got any numbers?
Oh, well,
Or wires? Or any cord?
Mr. Miller, you caught me. There isn't really any Frank. I just pretend over the toy telephone, that's all.
Mary, I could hear Frank's voice, someone's voice, answering you on that phone.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want the truth.
About what, Mr. Miller?
About you. About Frank and about that telephone. About this revolution you were just talking about. About that notebook, too. It's not just a list of pen pals, now is it, Mary?
You want to know quite a lot.
I certainly do.
All right.
How did that door close?
I closed it.
But you never moved. You just sat there and it closed behind me and... Let me see.
Oh, it's quite impossible to open it, Mr. Miller, until I release it.
Mary Newhall, just what's the meaning of all this?
Well, that's what we're going to discuss. Oh, sit down, Mr. Miller. That's better. I assume that sometime while you were being somewhat skimpily educated at the university, Mr. Miller, that you learned something about the evolution of man.
Can you be the same child to whom I've been giving C's?
Oh, a child to whom you gave C's, Mr. Miller, is a noxious character that I created. A role I played, shall we say, so that I could get through the days and years until the rebellion could be launched. The rebellion. You did learn something about evolution in that rather ridiculous college you went to, didn't you?
Yes.
Then you know, of course, that our species could not have survived had it not been that we met the needs for survival by developing ever upwards. Now, the Java man, our ancestor, could never have lasted had he stood still.
I know all that, Mary. I'm surprised that you do, too,
And we can't survive. Mankind, the way mankind is right now, can't survive unless we change.
But you were talking on the phone about revolution.
That's right. Suppose that you, with the brain that you possess, had been born into a society of cavemen. Do you think they would have listened to you?
I'm sure I can't tell you, but that's beside the point, Mary. I want to know
I'll get to everything you want to know. Look at that window.
What? How did you make that happen?
You want to hear some music? We have no phonograph here, have we? And yet, listen.
Good heavens.
Now, if you had been born into the age of the caveman, Mr. Miller, you would have been as far in advance of him as I am in advance of you. Do you want to turn the world over to me? Do you want me to govern you?
I believe in self-government.
Oh, well, that's the answer you would have gotten from the caveman. You would have had to revolt. So my friends and I are going to have to revolt.
Your friends? Who? What are your friends?
Mutants, Mr. Miller. Occasionally in heredity, there's a sudden variation in the norm. I'm a mutant, and there are several million mutants like me, all of us children, chronologically, but infinitely wiser than you grown-ups. Oh, if we leave the world to you, the world will perish. So we're taking over.
Mary, open that door. I want to get out of here.
No, Mr. Miller. I'm afraid you're the first victim of our revolution.
What are you going to do with me?
Well, you'll find out in a minute.
All right, never mind me. What are you going to do to the world? You say you're going to take it over. But what are you going to do with it?
You may rest assured that we shall not do with it what you grown-ups have done. We shall not dress young men in soldier suits and give them weapons with which to kill each other. We shall not dig shelters in which people may crouch and cower while bombs drop on their cities. We shall not allow some to starve while others grow fat. All the systems that you adults have invented are childish to us. Oh, here's Helen.
Why was the door shut, Mary? You knew I was coming. Why did you... Oh, Mr. Miller.
Get out of the doorway, Helen.
I'm getting out of here.
Sorry, Mr. Miller. You're not leaving.
Oh, gee whiz, Mr. Miller. I'm sure glad to see you because I was going to ask Mary about the homework. Do we have to
Never
do all
mind, Helen.
Well, what do you mean?
Apparently, Helen, she means that you are a mutant, too. And you don't pretend any longer. Because I know your secret.
That's quite true, Helen.
In that case, we'll have to immobilize him, Mary.
I know, but how? This, of course, is a test of our principled position.
What principled position, for heaven's sake?
I know. Have you talked to Frank about this?
Not yet. I'll call him now. Frank? Mary here. No, the adult is still present. What's that? Oh, yes, immobilization, of course. The question is, which type of immobilization?
We can't let him out of this room.
Oh, that was Helen, Frank. She's right, of course. If he got out of this room, we wouldn't have any power to... Freezing, huh?
Freezing?
You think freezing fits in all right with our principled position? This is a rather nice problem, but I think you're right. All right. Bye.
We freeze him?
We freeze him. And right away, Helen.
I listened intently to everything that was said during Mary's phone conversation with Frank. These children, far more brilliant than I could ever be, and far more powerful, intended to freeze me. But I didn't panic. I had noted that to call Frank, Mary had simply dialed F. And I'd also noted her saying that if I got out of this room, they would have no more power over me. I determined to
Mary,
get out
I'm not
as soon as
sure.
possible.
Our principled position commits us to nonviolence.
Frank feels that freezing is nonviolent.
He may be making a distinction without a difference. But pragmatically, he's right.
I wouldn't worry. It may be unpleasant, but it's nonviolent. You see, Mr. Miller, the whole point of our revolution is that we're sickened by the violence you adults have unleashed in the world.
So you'll freeze me, whatever that means. But just because there are no ropes or chains, you tell yourselves that you're not being violent. Well, I am your victim, and I say it is violent.
You have a certain point, but we're in no position to consider it.
Oh, let's get on with the freezing.
No, wait.
Well?
Well, look, this has all been a tremendous surprise to me. It's hard for me to take in. You can understand that, I'm sure, but if you can convince me that you really have learned so much more than grown-ups, it might reconcile me to what you're going to do to me. If I were reconciled, it wouldn't really be violent.
What do you want us to do?
Well, before you came, Mary seemed to pluck music out of the atmosphere. Can you do that, too?
Yes, Mr. Miller, I can.
It's amazing. And somehow it helps me to understand. Can you do all of the things Mary can do? She just sat there and made that window open without touching it.
I can do all of those things. See the window?
Thank you.
Oh, stop, Mr. Miller!
It was a two-story drop, and I was stunned for a moment just lying there. And then I heard those children coming after me. I scrambled to my feet, ran through the backyard, and climbed the fence as I kept going toward the center of town. I was headed toward the police station. I wanted those children, those monsters, captured and locked up. I was pretty sure they could hurt me only in that room over the garage that I just escaped from. I wanted to maneuver them into a trap. And so I thought of an alley between the police station and the East End garage. They followed me as I ran into it and turned to face them.
Come on, Helen. In here.
I'm coming.
Well, Mr. Miller, do you give up?
I should think not. Come and get me.
Take him on the right, Mary. I'll take him on the left.
Wait a minute, Helen. What can you be thinking of? Put that stick down.
I'm sorry. I've compromised our principles. But the alternative is unthinkable. We can't jeopardize the revolution. We can't let the grown-ups continue their folly.
Well, he can't move out of this alley without coming toward us. And if he does, I'll show you how to defeat him.
Well, I am coming towards you, and we'll see who defeats whom.
Help! Help! Chief, help!
You little devil!
Chief, help!
You little devil! Stop it! Stop it, I say!
All right, Chief, all right. Arrest them.
Oh, Chief, I'm so glad you're here. Golly, I don't know what got into Mr. Miller. He went all funny and chased us into this alley.
Yes. Oh, gee, I'm awful glad we were near the police station. I was scared to death.
Chief, don't listen to these children.
Now, what is going on here?
Gosh, I don't know, Chief. Mr. Miller started chasing us and yelling things we didn't understand.
Oh, now, I can't believe that of Mr. Miller.
We couldn't either. We didn't even run at first, did we, Mary?
No, but when he started to grab
Chief,
us...
will you please listen to me?
Oh, he scares me the way he
Now,
shouts.
calm down. I'll listen to you, Ethan.
Well, Chief, these children are planning to... They're planning to overthrow the government.
Now, what kind of talk is that?
Look at that pocketbook there. You see that notebook? Mary, give him your notebook.
Well, what about it?
Oh, it's my pen pal's notebook. Here, you can have it.
Look at the names and addresses in that notebook, Chief. She says they're pen pals, but she doesn't write to them. She telephones.
Oh, no. Wait a minute, Ethan. Here's one in Tibet. You want me to believe that she telephones him?
Oh, look, Chief, believe it or not, these children are engaged in a conspiracy.
Gosh, Mr. Miller's flipped his lid.
Chief, I've been a school teacher in this town for 7 years. Did I ever seem crazy to you before?
No.
All right, then. Just what am I accused of?
Maybe he was molesting us.
I read once where a teacher
Shut up!
ran it.
Shut up, you! I mean, this is a terrible misunderstanding. Now, Chief, I claim there's something very, very wrong with these two girls. Maybe my claims seem pretty strange to you. But if these two are innocent, they'd be willing to sit and wait for a while in the station house if you asked them to. Now, wouldn't they?
Well, I should certainly hope they'd respect my badge.
All right then. Please, take them to the station house and let me go for half an hour.
Well, what for?
To gather evidence. To clear my name.
All right, Ethan, all right. You kids willing to come to the station house with me?
Oh, sure. Oh, if you go by my house, Mr. Miller, tell Mama I may be late for supper.
I hurried back to the room over the garage. I started searching. I knew I had to produce some evidence, but I couldn't find anything. I remembered what the children had said about the way we grown-ups had made a mess of the world. I remembered their policy of nonviolence. And then I thought of the world we live in. The dread of the bomb, poverty, slums and crime, suspicion and fear among nations. And suddenly, I knew what I wanted to do. I picked up the phone, and I dialed F.
Hello, Mary. What happened?
This isn't Mary, Frank. This is the adult she told you about.
Yes?
I want to say to you, Frank, that I understand what you children are trying to do.
Go on.
And I agree that it is necessary.
That makes you somewhat brighter than most of mankind.
But I want to ask you one thing, Frank. Please. Please postpone your revolution.
Why?
Give us a chance. I'll warn the other adults. I'll preach to them on the street corners.
No.
I'll tell them that we've got to be neighbors and brothers to each other. Please give us a year.
No.
Give us 6 months, then.
No. You adults had your chance. Your day is past. We take over within a week. And there will be no postponement.
But Please, now listen to me. Come back, Frank. Hello? Hello? Please answer. Please. It was a toy phone again. And there was no other evidence. No other evidence. I went back to the police station, told my story, and Chief Hobbs simply laughed at me. He called the superintendent of schools, and he told me to get out of town. That was yesterday. Last night, the school board met, and they fired me. I'm disgraced and out of my job now. But that doesn't matter. Listen to me. Listen to me, everybody. The rebellion is next week. We have less than a week to make this a decent world.
Okay, come on, Ethan. Now move along.
Listen to me. The rebellion is coming.
Come on, Ethan.
Has presented Rebellion Next Week, written by Robert Senadella and directed by Warren Somerville. Script editor Jack Wilson. In the cast, Bryna Rayburn, Evelyn Juster, Ivor Francis, and Bob Hastings. Audio engineer Marty Folia. Sound technician Ed Blaney. Original music by Alexander Vlastotsenko. Orchestra under the direction of Glenn Osser. Executive producer for Theater 5, Edward A. Byron. We invite your comments. Write to Theater 5, Box 233, New York, New York. This is Fred Foy speaking.
And now, the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the series of radio dramas dedicated to the supernatural, the unusual, and the unknown. Come with me, my friends. We shall descend to the world of the unknown and forbidden, down to the depths where the veil of time is lifted, and the supernatural reigns as king. Come with me and listen to the tale of the Automaton.
Over here is what I call its brain. Put the power on, Elizabeth.
Yes, Father.
I've only begun on the binary system, but watch.
Why, it's moving. It's sitting up.
Yes.
It's getting down off the table.
And now you'll see a sight that no one else has ever seen before.
It's walking around the laboratory.
Yes, you're witnessing the first movements of a new creation, superior to man in that it will never tire, a servant to man, for that will be its place in the future. A machine that looks like a man and will be able to think like one.
The Hall of Fantasy will present the Automaton in just a moment. The Automaton.
I first met Dr. Eric Ziegler at the Conference on Scientific Research. I knew of him, of course. His name was famous throughout the world as one of the foremost experts on automatic control. It was the closing session of the conference when he made his now famous speech.
And in conclusion, gentlemen, may I say that mankind can expect this technological advance to continue. He can look forward to the future in the secure knowledge that his life will become easier and longer through the advances we make. That he will be free to direct his energies towards the conquering of new frontiers, bringing him closer to the day when he will stand alone over all the universe. Bravo! Bravo!
His speech so aroused me that I couldn't help making my way to the speaker's platform, pushing my way through the crowd which surrounded him in order to congratulate him.
Congratulations, Dr. Ziegler.
Dr. Ziegler? Dr.
Yes,
Ziegler?
yes?
My name is Drake Sheridan. I just wanted to tell you I thought your speech was the best thing I've ever heard.
I take that as a compliment coming from you, Dr. Sheridan. I know about your work.
Oh, nothing at all compared to yours, sir.
Dr. Sheridan, I'd like to talk to you further. Why don't you come to my house this evening?
What time?
After dinner, about 8:30. Here's my card.
Well, thank you, sir.
You'll be there?
Of course.
I'll see you then.
Yes?
I came to see Dr. Ziegler.
Oh, your name?
Drake Sheridan.
Oh, yes. He's been expecting you. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
Just follow me.
Was the most interesting effect of all. A new paragraph. The success of the automaton of which I am speaking is dependent upon the excellence of the brain I can give him. My work has become so...
Dr. Sheridan is here, Father.
Oh, excuse me. I do hope you'll forgive me, Dr. Sheridan.
Of course, sir.
I was dictating my report on a project on which I am now working. Please be seated. And before I forget, this is my daughter, Elizabeth.
How do you do?
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Drink perhaps, Dr. Sheridan?
Yes, I could stand one.
Yes. Any particular preference?
No.
Would you do the honors, Elizabeth?
Of course, Father.
Dr. Sheridan, perhaps you're wondering why I asked you to come here.
I have been, but I consider it a privilege and an honor to be here.
Thank you for the compliment, but it wasn't necessary. You may be interested to know that I've followed your career quite closely. And from what I've gathered, you're a very intelligent young man.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ziegler.
I'm not complimenting you to make you feel comfortable, Dr. Sheridan. I mean what I say.
Exactly why did you ask me here, Dr. Ziegler?
To talk to you, to see what kind of a person you are.
And here are your drinks.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, my dear. It's just right, Elizabeth. Yes. Dr. Sheridan, I'm going to be completely frank with you. I am working on a private project financed with my own money, completely divorced from my work at the Research Institute.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter has been helping me with this work, but unfortunately she does not have the knowledge nor the training to be of anything more than elementary assistance.
I see.
I am interested in finding an assistant who will devote his full time with me to the work I am doing.
You mean you intend to leave the Institute?
Yes. My work is finished there, and besides, I want to devote more time to this particular project of which I'm speaking.
What's the nature of your work?
Automatic control, of course. Would you be interested in working with me?
It's a great honor, sir.
I will make it worth your while.
Well, I'd like to know exactly what you're working on before I make any decision.
I believe I can trust you. I have a building some miles outside of the city which serves as my own personal research laboratory. We might as well drive out there. That is, if you're interested.
Why, certainly am.
Good. Elizabeth, get the car from the garage, please. We'll drive out tonight.
You certainly have it well equipped, Dr. Ziegler.
I wanted to show you that you would be working with only the finest of equipment.
Who's there?
What's that?
Oh, that's the watchman.
It's nothing to worry about, Bart.
Oh, it's you, Dr. Ziegler. I didn't hear you come in.
It's all right. He'll check out with you when we leave.
All right, sir.
Will you open the door, Elizabeth?
Of course.
All right, let's go in. I'll put on the lights. Now you'll see what I've been working on for the past year.
That sheet-draped figure on the table over there, what is it?
My newest research project in automatic control.
But what?
You'll see.
It looks like a human body underneath that sheet.
Not quite. Here, I'll pull back the sheet.
No, it isn't a human body.
That's correct. What do you think of it, Sheridan? What do you think of my automaton?
Is it finished?
Not yet, but soon, with your help.
A mechanical man.
A robot shaped exactly like a human being.
What better form could I give him? After all, our own bodies evolved to what we are today. Why should I attempt to improve on nature?
What do you intend doing with him when you finish?
Tell him, Elizabeth.
Well, this automaton will be able to do all of the hard and painstaking work of mankind without ever getting tired. It can fight his wars. It can be the first to explore outer space. It can free mankind to direct his energies to other channels.
I don't know.
Oh, come, Sheridan. You look at the automaton as if you thought he was some Frankenstein monster. Believe me, this is the farthest thing from that imaginary creature. This is a work of science. This is not a monster created from the dark recesses of someone's imagination. This is our key to the future.
We'll return to the Hall of Fantasy and the tale of the automaton in just a moment. Back now to the Hall of Fantasy and the tale of the automaton.
Dr. Eric Ziegler, his daughter, and I stood looking down at the metallic figure lying on the table before us. In all respects, it resembled a man, a metal and plastic man, created by the genius of Ziegler.
This is our key to the future. This automaton will free man from labor. Let him develop his mind to the fullest.
How much longer do you think you'll have to work before it's finished?
I can't tell. That's why I need you to help me set up the automatic self-regulation of its brain.
Then you haven't developed the system of feedback yet?
No. As you are aware, that is the basic machine of all self-regulating systems of automatic control. A man's mind is a complex creation. The mind of the automaton must also be complex in order that it can do the work of a man, in order that it can think and regulate itself.
Why don't you show him what you've accomplished so far in the feedback system?
All right. Now, over here is what I call its brain. Put the power on, Elizabeth.
Yes, Father.
I've only begun on the binary system. But watch.
It's moving. It's sitting up.
Yes.
It's getting down off the table.
And now you'll see a sight that no one else has ever seen before.
It's walking around the laboratory.
Yes. You're witnessing the first movements of a new creation, superior to man in that it will never tire, servant to man, for that will be its place in the future. A machine that looks like a man and will be able to think like one. I shall return him to the table now.
It's climbed back up on the table.
And it's lying down again. All right. Turn off the power, Elizabeth. Well, Sheridan, what do you think now?
I'm afraid I don't know what to think.
Will you work with me?
Oh, yes. Who wouldn't jump at the chance? Of course I will.
Good.
You understand, of course, that the feedback system and the binary scale are still in their elementary stages. When the brain, the automatic control is finished, it will fit inside the automaton's body and head.
That's correct. There will be controls on the robot's chest to set the automatic control to working, and another to stop the machine if it needs to be repaired. Of course, our largest task will be to develop a complete automatic self-regulatory system to fit inside the robot's body. As soon as you can be free...
Which should be in about 2 weeks.
Good. Then we shall begin work on the final stages that will lead to the completion of the automaton.
Rather than completely sever my relations with the organization for which I worked, I took an extended leave of absence. There were living quarters in the laboratory in the country. Ziegler shut down his house in the city, and he and his daughter and I moved our belongings to the laboratory in order to devote every possible minute to our work. Not only was Ziegler intent on having the automaton think for itself, but he was also insistent that the robot be able to talk. To those ends, we went to work.
If we were right in our calculations, the amplifier and receiver we have built into the mechanism will convert our words into electrical impulses, which in turn will activate a response from the automaton. Those responses themselves will be electrical impulses, which will be converted into words.
Well, why don't we try it and see, Eric?
We might as well, I suppose.
After all, the automatic control is almost finished. We only have the more complex reactions to set in the binary scale.
All right. Turn the control on his chest.
Right. It's on.
We'll see what happens. I order you to sit up.
Sitting up?
Yes. Jump down to the floor. I want you to answer me with your voice. What have you been created for?
To kill.
That's not the right reaction.
What was that?
Correction. To work.
That's right.
We must have made a mistake somewhere along the line in the reactions we set up. That to kill value is present for only one situation, for personal protection.
I thought you'd come up and... What are you doing?
Well, we're just conducting a test.
Woman.
That's correct.
Woman.
Stay back. Stay away from me.
Elizabeth, be quiet. He wasn't going to hurt you.
I'm sorry. When he started toward me, it frightened me.
You see, he's stopped now. There's nothing to fear.
Nothing to fear.
Get back. Back to the table. Lie down again. Turn off the control, Drake.
Right.
What's the matter, Elizabeth? You're shaking.
It's just that thing frightened me so. Those lenses that it has for eyes, there's something hypnotic about them. He looks so much like a man. I know he's made of plastic and metal, but well, I fear him.
Elizabeth, there's no sense getting emotional about this. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I know you're right, Father, but...
But what?
But what would happen if you ever lost control of the automaton?
That will never happen.
But is it possible?
Perhaps.
We didn't do any more work on the automaton that day. We went into the city in the early evening to see a play, leaving the watchman at the laboratory to take care of things. We got back about 12 and were having a late snack.
More coffee, Drake?
Oh, yes. Please.
I think it did us good to get away from here this evening. We've all been working too hard. Do you feel better now, Elizabeth?
Oh, yes, Father, much better.
Yeah. Tomorrow we can finish up with the automaton. Then we can show him, after suitable tests, of course, to the world.
If we're successful, you ought to win a prize.
What was that?
Someone screamed.
It came from upstairs. We'd better take a look.
Who could it have been?
The only other person up there is Bert, the watchman.
There it is again. Hurry.
Look. Huh? The door to the laboratory it's open.
He must be in there.
The lights are on.
We'll see what's wrong in a second.
All right.
Oh, no.
It's Bert.
What's the matter with him?
His neck's been broken.
Oh.
He's dead.
But how?
I don't know, only...
What's the matter?
Look, we turned off the control on the robot when we left, didn't we?
Of course we did. Why?
Because now it's on, Eric. The control is on.
You are listening to the tale of the automaton on this week's journey down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy. We'll return to our story in just a moment. And now back to our story. An original tale of fantasy entitled The Automaton.
On the floor of the laboratory sprawled the broken body of Bert, the night watchman. A scant few feet away, I stood looking down at the inert form of the automaton. Before we had left the laboratory, we had turned off the control, and now we found it on.
But that isn't possible.
Take a look for yourself.
control is on.
But we turned it off before we left.
Are you sure?
Of course, I turned it off myself.
How did it get on?
Perhaps Bert turned it on.
Why should he do that?
Well, perhaps he was curious. But the most important thing to find out is what killed him.
The robot.
Don't be a fool, Elizabeth. The robot won't kill unless attacked.
That's right, Elizabeth. It's the only reason for it to kill. Actually, the reaction was set in the control system for self-preservation. For no other reason than that. It's the only time the automaton is dangerous.
Maybe you made a mistake when you set the automatic controls.
It's possible that we might have made an error in the feedback system, Eric, and that the automatic selector chose the wrong value. When Bert turned the switch on, the robot thought he was in danger and killed him.
We didn't make an error in the feedback system, Drake. We checked each value through 5 times before we placed it in the servo mechanism. You know that as well as I do.
Then how did Bert die?
I don't know.
Master of Man.
It's still on. Turn it off.
Did you hear what it said, Eric?
Master of Men.
We didn't set that reaction in the servo mechanism. Something's wrong.
Do you mean the automaton can think for itself?
What about it, Eric?
We'll dismantle it tomorrow morning and check it over thoroughly, just to be sure.
What about Bert?
We'll merely explain to the authorities that he died in an accident here at the laboratory. We can do that in the morning, too. Now we all need a good night's sleep.
Don't you think we ought to move him out of here?
Well, they may want to look at his body, Elizabeth. Besides, nothing more can happen to him. Elizabeth?
Who is it?
Drake. What are you doing up here on the second floor outside the laboratory?
I couldn't sleep.
Oh. No, neither could I.
Drake, do you think that the robot can operate by itself?
Why do you ask that?
I was thinking, what if Bert was merely making his rounds? What if he walked into the laboratory and the robot was there, waiting for him?
Well, that's not possible, of course.
I wouldn't say that. Isn't it possible that you and Dad might have made a mistake in setting up the feedback system? Isn't it possible that there could be an error in the automatic control system that would allow it to operate without being switched on? Operate enough to at least turn the operating switch on?
Well, it's possible that there's something comparable to a short in the control system, which would mean that the robot could operate without the control being on. Yes.
I want to go in there and take a look at it.
Why don't you wait until morning?
No, I want to see it tonight.
All right. Let's go. Are you sure you want to go inside?
Yes.
Switch on the lights. Well, everything seems to be all right.
Let's take a look at the automaton. Every time I see it, it frightens me.
There's nothing to be afraid of, Elizabeth.
I'm not so sure.
The control button is still off.
Wasn't he lying the opposite way, with his head at the other end of the table when we left?
No, I don't think. Where's that hum coming from?
I don't know.
It sounds like the robot's power system. Yet the control button is off.
Are you sure?
Let me get a little closer to it.
Well?
The hum is coming from the automaton.
That means I was right.
I guess you...
Drake!
Huh?
Look out!
Master of Men!
The system is on.
It's sitting up.
To kill.
We made a mistake. We must have made a mistake.
It's getting down.
Let's get out of here.
Is it following us?
No, it's just standing there. But it will be after us in a few seconds.
Hurry, hurry.
Let's get this door closed and locked. There.
I can see it through the glass panel. It's starting towards the door.
I heard some noise up here. What's the matter?
The automaton's in operation, without the control being on.
What?
That's right. We must have made a mistake, Eric. The only thought that thing knows is to kill. We have to destroy it.
It's getting closer to the door.
That door won't hold. Let's get out of here. It has to be destroyed.
But how? It weighs over half a ton.
I think I have it. Stop here by this window.
Oh, another crash against that door and it'll be out of the lab.
What are you going to do?
Its reactions are slower than ours. We'll wait here for it. It'll come walking towards us. At the last minute, we'll run to the side. I don't think it'll be able to stop itself in time. It should crash through the window and to the ground below. The 2-story drop should destroy it.
The door's down.
I hope your plan works.
And if it doesn't?
Then we'll have to think of something else.
Here he comes.
It's looking up and down the hallway for us.
Over here! Over here!
It sees you.
Here it comes. To kill.
It's getting closer.
When do we move away?
Not yet.
Master of men, kill all men.
It's only a few feet from us.
How soon? In a moment.
To kill.
Now!
Are you sure it's destroyed?
Yes. The fall completely destroyed the automatic control. You're looking at nothing but a pile of metal.
What do you intend doing?
Starting all over again. Somewhere along the line, we made a mistake. We have to find that mistake and correct it. We don't want a master of men, but a servant of men. Someday, I don't know when, but someday, we'll be successful. And then one of mankind's most useful servants will be the automaton.
So runs tonight's tale of the unusual, the terrifying, the unknown. Join us again when next we journey down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy to hear another strange tale of the supernatural. All characters and events portrayed in these programs are fictional, and any similarity to actual events or persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental.
CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Won't you sit down and join the league of the most privileged globetrotters in the universe? Our scientists have given us machines to conquer the air, to plumb the ocean depths, to scale mountains, to span the world within a day. But all their brilliant machines for travel are outstripped by the simple armchair. Seated there, listening to the radio, not only the whole universe is at your fingertips, but a free voyage through all the long corridors of time winding to the past and stretching unending into the future. Come, join me in an armchair trip. This one into a time that is yet to come.
So you've condemned me to death, Truck.
Malfunction of machines. A breakdown in communication.
I swear to you one thing. If I can save my neck, the first thing I'll do is have yours.
Our mystery drama, Between These Worlds, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Tony Roberts. It is sponsored in part by True Value Hardware Stores. I'll be back shortly with Act One. These are other encounters and other worlds. How many of them are inhabited? We may never know in our lifetime, but we can speculate. Or listen to the spinners of tales speculate what they might be like. Come with me into the labyrinth of space, to the planet Chromek, and to the man who brings us this tale, a man named...
You called me, Comptroller?
Yes. Advance.
Yes, Lord. Am I to be sentenced now?
How long have you been in the Black Pit?
Your Lordship should have a better idea than I. A blind man cannot read time, and rats don't wear chronometers.
You are insolent.
No, just truthful.
Are you determined to destroy yourself, Garth?
I thought the die was long since cast.
Obviously it hasn't, since you're still alive.
I thought that was only a technicality.
Must you be incorrigible?
As long as I am to die, why not?
But suppose you are not to.
Not to die?
Yes.
Then I'd say I'm not such an old dog that perhaps I can't learn some new tricks. From a past master, of course.
No, you make it almost impossible to help you.
You want to help me?
Why do you think I brought you here?
I'm still trying to figure that out. If you really want to do something nice for me, you might arrange for me to sit down.
I'll do better than that. Guards, remove his chains. When you have loosened him, leave us.
Such treatment can mean only one of two things. I am to be set free or eliminated.
That is the choice.
My freedom naturally will be conditional.
Naturally.
What are the conditions?
That you return to the endeavor for which you have been trained and selected, the parameters of which you should never have overstepped.
I didn't.
Oh, come now. The indictment brought against you was incontrovertible.
Experimenting with the building of an aircraft, powered in a new fashion, perhaps. But that my efforts in that direction constituted any threat to established power, no. Or that any treason was involved.
You committed the unforgivable.
What?
No machine, engine, motor, or other device capable of producing energy shall be designed, except to take advantage of our national nuclear stockpiles.
But they are inefficient compared to my design.
We have an overabundance of nuclear energy sources.
Nothing is more overabundant than the sun and natural magnetic fields. My machine would cost little to run.
Exactly. Which is why the High One and the Council would frown on their use.
You mean there would be no chance for them to line their pockets?
Why must you consider me your enemy?
Because you are, and always have been since Milada chose me for her mate. The only way you could stop us from being joined was to get me out of the way.
If that was my purpose, I appear to have failed. You're still here, and alive. In his wisdom, the High One has seen fit to commute your sentence and offer you life again.
Why?
Before your disgrace, you were captain of the Astral Fleet. You were charged with the task you had sworn a blood oath to maintain. The safety of our planet, Kronek.
And I would have defended it to the death. My only wish was for better means to protect it.
You were looking the wrong way, Garth. The danger to this planet is not from without, but from within. From starvation.
Starvation? But our population is controlled.
The soil of Kronek is tired, Garth. The planet is slowing down. Our weather is affected. We're facing catastrophic food shortages.
I don't see where I fit into all this.
Haven't you wondered at all the sweeps we have had you make in the past years through the galaxies?
As to seek for any civilization patterned like ours that might be a possible enemy.
How many have we found?
To my knowledge, only one. The planet Earth.
This planet so like our own and so conveniently much larger.
Conveniently?
Yes. They could be the enemy, couldn't they?
Earth? 2 galaxies away? Lapped out of our orbits by a time fold? They'll never trouble us.
Are you so sure?
I have circled them 3 times now. They have some rudimentary spacecraft, mostly unmanned. Don't forget, they're in a different time spectrum from us. Scarcely at the dawn of their civilization.
Yes, but they are like us.
Oh, yes. Of all that I have seen in my galactic travels, the closest. But again, I tell you, they pose no danger to us.
How can you be so sure? You are to land there. Your mission is to mingle with the Earthlings, observe their planet and its resources, and report back to us.
That's what my life is to be saved for. It's a waste of time. Again, I tell you, there's no chance they might try to invade us.
We don't expect them to. What we are considering is invading them in order to destroy them and take over their planet.
I am Victor Garth, of the 770th ring of the Tree of Garth, the last of my line. My father should have been the High One of Kronek, as his grandfather and all the other ancestors. But his brother, my Uncle Zyron, took the empire, and we Goths became little better than elite slaves. Only my union with Milada might have saved me, but the forces against me had seen that would never be consummated. Now I am back in my jail again, and I wonder if my interview with Trock, the controller, ever happened. Or am I still condemned to death?
Give us 5 minutes, guard. Then come to let me out.
Milada?
Yes, Garth.
What brings you here?
You.
You've been a long time coming.
I could not arrange it before.
Then why now? When it is too late for us.
I want to make sure you don't do anything foolish.
Such as?
Are you going to Earth?
I suppose so. Why not? It's better than automatic elimination.
It's better than everything we might have hoped for. If you are successful, you'll be back where you belong, with all that has been taken away from you.
Not quite all. I still have lost you.
No, not if you succeed. I will be waiting.
Waiting? But you belong to Trock.
Only for so long as he can hold me.
You've come here to tell me that I can win you back.
I've come here to tell you that you must take this trip and this chance so you may possess me.
You realize my return is a chance in a million.
If you return to me, both of us will be free to accept each other again. I promise you.
Then I'll go. And I promise you, I will come back. So many things circling through my mind. Irrational hopes that were no part of my training, but which were the flaws in me that had brought me such desperate times. It wasn't long before my ship had been fitted out, and Trock delivered it to me with my orders.
You are satisfied with your craft?
Well, it's going to take me days to check it out completely.
There isn't time for that.
You realize what the chances are of my accomplishing this mission I'm being sent on?
If anyone can, I'm sure it will be you.
I would be flattered if I could be sure this isn't a convenient way of solving all your problems and getting rid of me with honor.
It's a chance you take. But the prize is worth all the danger.
What prize?
I should rather have said prizes. If you succeed, no one can keep you from the throne. You will be the next High One. And your throne will be shared by your queen, Milada.
Milada? Because of her, I will believe. I'm ready to risk everything.
Then let us tempt fate no longer, since the die is cast.
The die is cast. I only wish I had made the roll.
You are cleared for takeoff, Captain Garth Victor. We are on countdown.
Until I am in free fall, beyond the reach of Kronek's gravity belt, I have no choice of direction. It is too late to abort. I have a gnawing feeling that even once I reach orbit, I will still have no control. Now I am in free fall. I activate my power sources. To my relief, everything surges into life, lifting me out of orbit, flinging me across the universe towards the black hole and the time fold I must find before I am sucked into its maw. I am all conscious of the whirling vortex of the black hole, the entrance to nothingness, and the end of all being that is sucking me towards it. I must take steps to cut my motors. I cannot turn them off. I have been betrayed. Frantically, I manipulate the transmission screen. I can raise no picture. At last, I depend on audio only. Garth Victor to control. Do you read me? Garth Victor to control. Do you read me?
I read you, Garth Victor.
Talk! What are you doing in control?
I have been sitting here expecting your call.
You sent me on this journey knowing I'd never come back.
Guilty as charged.
The most convenient way to dispose of me without embarrassment.
Absolutely. You must realize what a danger you were to us all. You were something of a national hero to an uneasy populace. So the only way to dispose of you successfully was to allow you a hero death.
I swear to you one thing. If I can save my neck, the first thing I will do is have yours.
Good luck, Captain Victor. But I'm afraid you have none left.
I have been tricked. Flung out of orbit with my steering mechanism inoperable. I am headed for the terror of the void, the nothingness, the end of being, and I am helpless to save myself from being lost in the night of forever.
We sit in our armchairs, shaken by the strange and not fully understood forces that have Garth Victor in their power. Can we even begin to imagine how horrendous the conception of a hole in the universe could be? A bottomless pit that could swallow us all, drag us down to a hell only dimly imagined by even as great a poet as Dante. I shall return shortly with Act 2. All hope abandon, ye who enter here. 7 of the most terrible words ever written. The legend that Dante read inscribed above the gate to hell. Yet how much more terrible is the gate that Garth is about to be sucked into. For this is the drain of all the universes, the sinkhole to oblivion, the black hole. Locked in a spacecraft hurtling at full speed, directing him to disaster, all hope should already have been abandoned except...
There must be something I can do. But what? The suction of the vortex gives me no chance of escape. If I could somehow cut my power, not altogether, but on the starboard side, then my propulsion might veer me far enough to the right for me to reach the time fold and escape to the Earth galaxy. But how? Use my disintegrator gun to blow up one half of my motors and see what happens. It's working. But the spacecraft is revolving like a top. Out of control. I'm coming up on the coordinates for the time fold, but I don't know if at this aspect I can find the window. This may be the end of it all.
Yes, parent?
Don't call me that.
You denying your own daughter?
You know I'd as soon deny my own name.
All right, Commodore.
Will you turn off that stupid radio?
Just waiting to check the weather report.
The devil with it.
Wait a minute, Commodore.
For what?
Stack your pole and come on up here to the bridge. There's something you ought to get a gander at.
I'm on my way.
One favor deserves another. There goes your radio.
Thanks a lot. Now, what else do you have to screw up your old man's day of fishing?
Here, take the glasses.
Yeah.
Here. See, about 6 points off the starboard bow. You make it?
Yeah. What is it?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. By me, it's a UFO.
It's like nothing I ever saw. Wait a minute. It's in trouble.
Yes, I can see.
It's out of control. It's going to crash.
Where?
Hard to tell the way it's flip-flopping, but near enough so we can attempt to rescue... Oh, no.
What is it?
He's headed straight for the drink. He can't pull out.
I wonder if anyone's aboard.
I broke through the time fold and away from the black hole. I recall entering Earth's galaxy within the pull of that planet's gravity, and my spacecraft still out of control. Vaguely, I remember the turning, twisting, toppling descent, and my last desperate effort to wrench the heat shield into line by blowing out my remaining power. After that, everything was blackness.
Easy. Take it easy. You're all right.
Better let me pin him down, Pat. No telling what he may be like when he comes out of it.
Oh, I don't think we'll have any trouble with him.
How do you know? This is someone from another world.
If he is, he's not much different from us. Oh, hold it. He's coming too.
Where am I?
About 60 miles southwest of the Florida Keys, aboard the Mavornine.
Mavornine.
My fishing cruiser, 48-footer.
Oh, a sea craft.
We call it a boat.
We?
My father and I, Americans.
Citizens of the world.
But the Florida Keys?
Yeah, a part of America. The United States.
A part of the world.
The planet we call Earth.
So I am on Earth.
But what?
Forgive me, I must find myself again in meditation. I cannot say anymore. I need time to find myself. I must put my mind into a controlled track, allowing my thoughts to regroup, listening for any messages from beyond. But as I lay in trance, another part of me hears the sound of the Earth people's voices.
You really believe he's from another world?
Where else? You saw that craft he was flying?
He speaks English. He doesn't seem alien in any sense.
If there's anything at all we should have learned from the past 200 years, it's that nobody is an alien.
Oh, you're right. It's just...
Just what, Pat?
I wouldn't want to think of this one taking off and disappearing.
What are you saying?
I don't know exactly. It's strange. Never happened to me before. I just have a hunch. I found what I've been looking for.
I could hear them talking, but the words didn't make much sense. I was still disoriented from that scrambling, twisting, spinning fall out of the sky. I must have drifted away, because when I returned to consciousness, I was lying in a bed with clean, crisp sheets, and the woman was sitting by me.
How do you feel?
All right. Who?
I'm Pat McGlade. My father and I fished you out of the drink after you crashed.
My craft?
A wipeout. Must have sunk like a stone. You hungry? Yeah, I brought you some food.
No. A little thirsty.
Here, try this.
It's good. What is it?
Orange juice. You don't know it?
Orange juice. We don't have it where I come from.
Well, where do you come from?
Excuse me, I find it hard to think. I must rest. I had to be careful. I was an enemy in a strange land. My impulse was to talk to this woman, goddess, more beautiful than any female I'd ever known, with her long, curling, burnished hair and the gray-green eyes, such as I had never seen among my people. But I still had no way to explain my strange arrival out of the blue. It was the man who made it possible for me to continue my assignment without revealing the whole truth.
Ready to talk about yourself now?
No.
All right. I'll talk about me. Patrick McGlade. McGlade Enterprises. Oil rigs, offshore drilling, ships, heavy goods, but most of all, aeronautics. Every phase, ground to air, and every kind of air-powered vehicle. But I never did see one like the one you dumped in 3 Mile deep waters, so we can't recover it. What was it?
Just a simple scouting craft.
Interplanetary? All right, let's put it on the table. What's your name?
Garth.
That all of it?
Yes. Oh, you mean my designate, Victor.
What does designate mean?
Oh, what I do. Explorer. What I'm programmed for. Is it not that way here?
No. We're free men. We program ourselves.
You are permitted?
It took us a couple of centuries of trying to destroy this globe to wake up. Then, instead of fighting ourselves, we got together with the world government and learned to live in peace. I ought to turn you over to the authorities, you know. You are technically an invader of our planet.
Please, don't do that.
Why not? Just give me one good reason. At least, tell me how you got here and from where.
I'm from another universe. A planet beyond your galaxy called Kronek. I came here by accident. Coming through a time fold, I lost control of my craft, only because it had been sabotaged.
You were flying a machine capable of intergalactic flight?
I was. I have been flying them all my life.
Oh, that's too bad it was lost.
I can echo that. Now I can't get back to my own planet.
Oh, there might be a way.
How?
Suppose I were to give you the facilities. Could you give me blueprints of that machine?
Well, I'm not an engineer or a draftsman, but I can do just as well. Give me the materials and I'll build you an even better machine.
Would it use nuclear energy? What's the power source?
It would run on the power from your sun, or from any hot star, in combination with magnetic fields.
Son, you have yourself a deal. You build me a prototype, and I'll keep your arrival here a secret. I've checked it out. There's no record of your crash.
How soon do we start?
Like I do everything. Yesterday. We're already on our way.
He was as good as his word. We flew in one of Earth's primitive jet planes to a place called Texas. And I went to work constructing the prototype of the spacecraft that Patrick McGlade hoped to convince his world government would eventually provide his weak planet with an umbrella to protect them. He didn't suspect that in using me, I was using him. Earth would never get the craft. I was building it to take me home. Home, yes. Even after what Trock had done to me. And Milada, I was conditioned to belong to Chronic. And I knew I could go back a hero to lead my planet to the conquest of Earth and the destruction of its soft people so that my countrymen, the super race, could continue to rule the universe.
So here we have a curious triangle. Patrick McGlade, millionaire world mover, obsessed with the greatest deal of his life, a deal to leave the world safe for his daughter. Patricia McGlade, the daughter, the poor little rich girl who at last has found the mate of her choice. And Victor Garth, the man who could be human except for his carefully trained, conditioned reflexes. I shall return shortly with Act 3. Nearly 12 months have passed, bringing us into the year 2280. In this time, the three members of our special triangle have achieved an easy surface familiarity with each other, but the only deep ties that are reciprocal are between father and daughter. Till the birth of a new factor in their relationship, another lady, the spacecraft SP-ENFA-1, solar-powered electromagnetic field aircraft, the first of her kind.
It has all seemed endless, building it. But the last rivets are being driven home. And at last, my escape from prison is about ready. Except that it will not be easy. This year has forged other shackles which are as hard to escape from as the ones fashioned of steel.
So what do you think of her, Pat?
Oh, she's a winner, Commodore.
What'd you say? A winner?
That, too, I'm sure, but I said a winner. One of a kind. Like the man who built her.
She's only one of a fleet your father plans to convince the world government to build.
My father? Don't you, plan to be here to help him?
Now, come on, Pat. That's up to Garth. He might want to go home.
How?
Number one off the assembly line is his, to do what he wants with.
You got a girl waiting for you in Chronic, Garth?
You know space pilots. A girl in every planet.
Really? Does that qualify me for right here on Earth?
I wish I could feel I could even begin to measure up.
Why, Garth, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Any, chance we could get out of this kettle factory and pursue that thought over a drink?
No, your father. I have some things to...
No, Garth. Everything's done here, but that special radio equipment you wanted to install. Why don't you take the rest of the day off?
No, I don't think so. But I might pick up those components. They're there at the airport. We've got a car outside?
Well, I'll drop you off on the way home if you like.
If I like. How could I refuse? I hadn't seen very much of Patricia in the year I'd spent on Earth. I'd been too preoccupied with getting the aircraft built. And she was a free-swinging girl who followed the sun and her own social set. I was just as glad. She disturbed me. Interfered with the simple beauty of my master plan. I couldn't define my thoughts as I examined her. Hair streaming in the wind as we drove in the clumsy, rudimentary machine Earth people called an automobile.
You realize this is the first time I've seen you in 3 months?
Is it?
Obviously. Or why would I mention it?
I was wondering that myself.
Do you know you're well, the politest word I can think of is a heel.
Why?
But what do the girls in Chronic do? Let you trample them, just come whenever you whistle?
don't understand.
Well, maybe I'll just test that out. Now, let's get right down to cases. I may not have been around much, but I've kept tabs on you. You're either a workaholic or an automaton. Hey, don't you like girls?
Like?
Yes. Or maybe even love. That's what man and woman is about, isn't it?
Not on chronic.
Come on. Don't you reproduce?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, the workforce must be replenished. Why should I... What are you doing?
I'm conducting an experiment. This is known as a kiss. How did that grab you?
I don't know what you're saying. But I'd like to try that again. Come here, Pat.
I thought you'd never ask me.
In retrospect, what happened between Pat and me was something I now realized I'd been trying to avoid ever since I met her. But pleasurable as my contact with her was, it only served to strengthen my determination to do what I had to do.
Yes. This is Truck, controller of the planet Kronek. Who is trying to reach me?
Victor Garth.
What? Impossible. Victor Garth is dead.
If you could have had your way, I would be, Truck. But I assure you I'm not. I'm very much alive.
Where are you?
On the planet Earth.
How did you get there?
That's a long story which we'll keep. What's important at the moment is that I'm planning to return to Kronek with all the information we need for the invasion of Earth.
Can we invade Earth?
Not only can, but must, before they wake up and arm themselves.
Then you must lead us there. You're the only one who knows the way.
I shall start off for Kronek tonight. When I pass through the time fold 12 hours later, I will be 1,000 years older and back in your time frame. And still, I will reach you within 24 hours. I want Milada to be waiting for me.
I'll do better than that. Cross the time frame and I shall be waiting for you with our fleet. We will return immediately and make Earth ours. Then you can return as a conquering hero.
Very well. I will leave this minute before they can discover me. I'm on my way.
Leave for where, Garth?
Pat.
Were you really planning to run out on us?
You should be careful of that gun. It's lethal.
I should have been careful of you. You are, too.
Give it to me. You wouldn't use it on me.
I think I might. Then turn it on myself.
Why?
Because I can't reach you to tell you how much I love you. We call it a communications gap. Isn't that a laugh? That there is no communication between lovers.
I don't know what you mean.
That's the whole problem, Garth. You walk like a man, you look like a man, you talk like a man, but you are not human. You have no feelings. You might as well be a robot.
I am what I was shaped. I might want to change, but I can't.
That's the tragedy of it all, and why I have to kill you before you kill us all. Forgive me, Garth. It all might have been so beautiful.
Look out!
What? Oh, you tricked me, you...
Pat!
It's all right. My own fault. If I couldn't have you, I'm just as well off dead.
No. No. I never wanted it like this. Now I have to get out.
Garth! What in the Sam Hill's going on there?
Stay out of here, Commodore. You can't stop me.
Where do you think you're going?
Back where I belong.
No, not on this ship, boy. Over my dead body.
If that's the way you want it, that's the way it'll be.
What have you done with Pat? Where is she?
Oh. No. I didn't mean it. It just happened. Unless you want to go the same way, this is your last chance to get off.
Only one of us will ever leave this ship alive.
Then it won't be you. You've had your choice. Sit down and don't move till I get her in orbit. Under the crushing pressure of the takeoff, both McGlade and I were frozen in our seats. On the floor, huddled in a corner, Pat's limp body lay like a tossed-aside rag. Looking at it, some wave surged up in me, and then before I could understand what it was, the instruments demanded my attention. I forgot everything until we were beyond the gravity belt, and I could cut in the engines.
Why did you kill her?
I didn't mean to.
The time-worn excuse. She loved you beyond anything, even me. What a waste.
Don't come near me.
I wouldn't want to. I can find my own death with honor. Just give me leave to take my daughter with me.
How?
In my arms, through the compression lock, and out forever into space.
It solved a problem for me without demanding further action. I let him lift her tenderly and carry her through the inside door. I closed it behind him in relief, and then activated the outside door. His body fell away into space, drifting, still dragged by the last vestiges of Earth's gravity. But by some accident, it was not the same with Pat. Some freak of fate allowed her clothing to become entangled in a forward vein, and suddenly she was floating beside the cockpit window, her wide gray-green eyes staring at me accusingly, phantom witness to my treachery. With a wrench, I tore my eyes from her and concentrated on bursting through the window of the time-fold, back to my own world.
This is Trock, the controller to Garth Victor. We have you in view. Repeat. You have broken out of the time-fold to starboard of the black hole. This is Trock. We have you in view.
I hear Trock's voice. I see the battle fleet in formation waiting for me to lead it to Earth's destruction. But they are as far away as a dream. What is close to me is the wide gray eyes that hold my gaze beyond the cockpit window, and a voice that is reaching for me from beyond the spheres.
You walk like a man. You look like a man. You talk like a man. But you're not human, Garth.
I am what I was shaped. I might want to change, but I can't.
Why? It might have been so beautiful if you could only have accepted love.
I don't know what it is.
Then you will never know peace. There are two kinds of people in the universe, Garth. The killers and the victims. But if there were no killers, what a lovely world it might be. Then at last, we might all find peace. Even you, my darling. Even you, my darling. Even you.
Whatever has held her to the ship let go, and I see her snatched away, twisting and turning, and swallowed up in the whirlwinds that reach hungrily from the black hole. And at the same moment, I hear Trock again.
This is Trock to Garth Victor. Are you ready to lead us through the time-fold so we may destroy Earth?
And suddenly it is blindingly clear. I know what I have to do. I am no longer a cipher. Pat has given me the strength to become a man. This is Garth to control a Trock and the chronic fleet. I am ready to lead you, but we do not take the time-fold.
Why not?
The most direct route is through the black hole.
The black hole? You must be mad.
No, Trock. Believe me, I was never more sane in my life. It's the high road to the last best destiny for all of us. Follow me. I bank and head for the threatening vortex. Only now it seems to me like a welcoming gate. In no time, the winds themselves are stronger than my engines, and my ship is caught up in a mad, helical swirl that spirals me down, down forever into the blankness of nothing. Behind me, the fleet comes, caught one by one, and doomed to final destruction as I am. Except that far below, through the buffeting winds, I can see my beloved's face. Pat, the woman and the partner I know at last, can make me whole. And I know that with the planet Earth's peace, I have bought my own. And whatever fate waits for me, I am coming home at last.
A strange and disturbing story. And a far journey for all of us, beyond familiar stars and back again to the depths of the void. Isn't it nice our thrills were only vicarious? And at the end, we can wake up in our own armchairs to a warm, familiar world. I'll be back shortly. Sometimes I take the notion to oil my door, but then I wonder, if it were not for that strange eldritch screech as it opens, would all of you come knocking on it? Without the promise of the bizarre, the sometimes terrifying that its challenging voice offers you. Besides, I have oiled it, but it murmurs just the same. Or cries, if that's how it sounds to you. So, who am I to tamper with the unaccountable? Our cast included Tony Roberts, Carol Teitel, and Robert Dryden. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
He died a few years back, but he claimed to have established direct communication with the spiritual world.
How did he do that?
Through the opening of his spiritual senses.
And you? Well, can you? Has that happened to you?
Of course not. It didn't happen to Swedenborg until he was 57 years of age. But it might happen, or something very like it might happen to me, if only...
What, Gottfried? If only what?
If only I could escape.
Escape whom? Escape what?
An evil influence, Carl. It hangs over me night and day.
Oh, how can you say such things?
Because I know them to be true. There is an evil genius, a vile spirit whose sole intent is to ensnare me and to ensure my damnation.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are standing outside a room, horror gripping you. While before your eyes, seen through the transom window, the most beautiful girl in the world is about to die. Because of you.
Today we escape from reality with a fascinating story of a girl who lived a weird second life, as John Jessel told it in his gripping story, The Adaptive Ultimate.
No, Daniel, I can't do it.
You have a very interesting theory,
It's
but...
more than a theory, Dr. Bach. I've proved it. It works. I tried my serum on tubercular guinea pigs, and it cured them. They adapted themselves to the tubercular bacillus and lived. I tried my serum on a dog with rabies. He adapted himself, too. I tried it on a cat with a broken spine. The cat instantly adapted itself to its injury so that the spine had time to knit and heal. Don't you see what a tremendous discovery this is?
Yes, perhaps.
Well, think what that would mean in accident cases. There'd be no further need for emergency surgery. Don't you see that? No matter what the condition, the injury to the body, a mere injection of my serum would permit the patient instantly to adapt himself to his condition and live.
No matter what his injury.
Exactly.
A serum made from insects.
From a common fruit fly, the most adaptable of living organisms. Tear off a wing and it grows a new one. Tear off its head even. Stick on a new head and that too will adhere in time. Think of imparting that same adaptability to human beings.
To grow new heads, it has merit.
Oh, now please, Dr. Bach.
All right. No, seriously. I know this may be a great thing, but to permit you to experiment on a human being, no,
the most hopeless case you can find, Dr. Bach. Someone already doomed.
Well, if someday I discover in the hospital a hopeless case, understand it will be hopeless.
I understand.
And if the patient shall consent, then you will have your human guinea pig. Well, Dr. Scott, you requisitioned for yourself a hopeless case? Permit me. Here is your guinea pig.
What is it, Dr. Bach? TB?
Yeah, final stage. A matter of hours at most. She might have been attractive once, but now, hair like string, skinny like a skeleton, and flesh like wax.
Dr. Bach, you call this a fair test? I said hopeless, but I didn't say a corpse.
The lady is returning to life, such as it is. Well, Dr. Scott, I regret I have not a more palatable subject for your experiment, but this is what I promised, a hopeless case.
It's all right, I'll try it. Oh, what's her name?
Let me see, it's on the chart here. Zelas.
What was that?
Her name is Kira Zelas.
Oh.
Young lady. Permit me, I am Dr. Hermann Bach, Chief of the Staff, and I would like to introduce one of our promising young doctors.
He wants a date, I suppose.
Miss Zalis.
Hello, Brown Eyes.
What?
Your eyes are brown, aren't they?
Miss Zalis, you see, I've perfected a serum.
I like brown eyes.
This serum might help you, but it has never been tried on a human being before. Well, I thought if you have no objection...
What are the odds?
Odds? Well, actually, you've everything to gain.
And nothing to lose.
Well?
How right you are. Okay. I'm all yours, Brown Eyes. Go ahead. Experiment away.
Dr. Bach, prepare her arm.
24 hours and she is yet alive. I would have said yesterday it would be impossible she should survive the night. So it is now 48 hours, and she actually seems better. But miracles such as this have happened before, and without serums. A week, and she still lives. Each day she becomes better. It is miraculous. The spots on her lungs are disappearing. Her coughing is stopped. There is no sign of bacillus in the culture. But even more amazing, a reaction to abrasions, skin punctures. Yesterday I took a blood specimen. Before I had 1 cc, the puncture in her skin had closed. Yes, in 30 seconds. The ordinary person, it takes a day, 2 days for it to heal. With Miss Kira Zelas, 30 seconds. It is amazing. Then I will not dispute it. Your serum has worked a miracle. She is cured. And now I must just discharge her from the hospital.
Well, Dr. Bach,
You had forgotten that time must come sometime, But you see, I must. She is cured, and we need the room.
Well, yes, I know, but... Well, she should be under observation. We don't know what effects will show up.
I think, Daniel, you have an extraordinary interest in Miss Zelas. So, I have asked her to come here. She is outside. Shall we invite her in?
Why, yes, of course.
Send in Miss Zelas, please. Now, observe well your miracle. Miss Zelas, come in, sit down.
Thanks. Oh, hello, Brown Eyes.
Hello, Kira.
I have sent for you, Miss Zelas, because I have good news. Today I am discharging you from the hospital.
Oh?
Yeah? Today you are free to go. That pleases you?
Madly.
Kira, you have people, perhaps? A family?
Aren't we all brothers and sisters, under the skin?
Miss Zelas, I will come to the point. I wish to make you a proposition. I mean purely a scientific...
Yes, I know. An experiment.
Precisely. We are interested, Dr. Scott and I, to observe the further effects of the serum he gave you.
Yes.
I will pay you board and room and $30 a week. You will live at my house. I have a housekeeper, Mrs. Getz. She will look after you. Is that satisfactory?
Wouldn't I be a fool to say no?
Excellent, excellent.
Does, Brown Eyes live there, too?
No, but Dr. Scott will continue to have a clinical interest in the experiment. Miss Zelas, have no fear.
Good.
Yes. Well, it is now almost time for dinner. I will take you, Miss Zelas. You will join us, Dr. Scott?
Well, yes, fine, Dr. Bach.
Very well. We shall meet outside in, 10 minutes?
That'll do me nicely.
Miss Zelas, you wish to wait here or maybe outside? A little fresh air?
I think I could use a little air.
Good. There is a little park across the street. You will find benches there to rest. We will meet at the front entrance in 10 minutes.
Dr. Bach, what is it? What's the matter?
Some sort of commotion across the street in the park. Oh. Where is Kira?
Well, I thought she'd be here with you.
Perhaps she is still over there in the park.
What do you suppose? Come on! Dr. Bach, it is Kira. Kira, let me through, please. Kira, let us through, please. Officer, what's happened? What is this? Why are you holding this lady?
You know this woman?
Yes, of course. What is it? What's the matter here?
Plenty. Your lady friend here merely walks up to an old gent about 60 or so, picks up a nice hefty rock, and beats his brains out.
Officer, there must be some awful mistake.
Yeah, her mistake. Cold-blooded murder. Come on, sister. There's the wagon.
But, officer, listen.
You'd better come along, too, mister. Mona Lisa here don't seem to be much in the mood for talking. We'll need someone to tell the desk sergeant her name.
Kira, this is terrible, seeing you here like this. I've got to get you out of here. I've got to help you.
It's not so bad when you're here.
Well, listen, this is all a terrible mistake. If you'll tell me what...
Mistake?
Why, yes, of course, you... Kira, you didn't kill that man.
If I said yes, what would you do?
Why, I'd tell him you weren't responsible. I'd tell him about the serum. I'd tell him it was my fault, that somehow the serum I gave you caused your mind to snap, something that... Well, that would be the only explanation.
You'd do this? Ruin your career, no doubt? Just to save me?
Oh, yes, of course I would.
And what would they do to me?
I don't know exactly. Put you away, under observation, something. Kira,
Then my answer's no, I did not kill the man. Oh, don't worry, I won't be convicted. I'll take care of myself very well. I'll, as you say, adapt myself to the situation.
All right, now, Mr. Salvatore, continue. Tell the court in your own words precisely what happened.
This old man, you see, is buy circus peanuts from me every day. For months, every day. And this one day, pull out this pocketbook. It's a billfold. And I'm look, it's stuffed with the bills. The big money. He says, Salvatore, can I make a change for $20? And I'm laugh. I'm say, mister, I'm a peanut man. You take the peanuts and you pay me tomorrow. He said, thank you very much. He turned around, and then here's this dame, she pick up, it's a great big stone, and it conks him. It's a murder.
I object, Your Honor.
Objection sustained.
Continue, Mr. Salvatore.
Oh, she nothing more to say. This dame, she bend over and she reach in his pocket to take the money. I'm a grabber, people a come, police a come, and a grab...
Mr. Salvatore, can you describe this young lady to us?
Oh, I remember her very well. She's skinny. She's ain't no beauty, you know. You got the black suit, the brown hair, eyes, don't know, dark, you know, maybe brown or blue.
Thank you, Mr. Salvatore. Your witness?
Mr. Salvatore, you say that the young lady, the assailant, had brown hair and dark eyes?
Si. Brown hair, dark blue eyes.
And do you see the young lady in the courtroom?
Oh, si. She's a sit right to...
What's the matter, Mr. Salvatore? Are you pointing at Mrs. Alis?
Si.
May I ask the defendant to rise, please? Mrs. Alis, will you kindly remove your hat, please?
Dr. Bach, look. Her hair, it's become the color of aluminum.
Your Honor, I submit that this defendant does not possess dark hair, nor, if you will observe, dark eyes. I am prepared, therefore, to submit a lock of her hair to be tested by any chemist the court may appoint to prove that the pigmentation is entirely natural. Now, Mr. Salvatore, do you still say that this is the young lady you saw in the park?
I'm think she's...
Is she?
Mamma mia, no!
Good Lord, Dr. Bach, that hair of hers. Did you see it? It was the color of aluminum. She was beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And so she has been acquitted. They call her innocent. Daniel, I am a convert to your great principle of adaptability. But where will it end? You start with an ideal, and you wake up to discover you have created a monster.
But she was acquitted. It was all a mistake.
You really believe that?
Dr. Bach.
Yes, Mrs. Gritz?
She is here, Doctor.
She?
That woman in the newspaper.
Ah.
Kira is here?
You said she was so poor, such a church mouse. Ah, you should see her.
What do you mean, Mrs. Gitz?
So fine, so great a lady.
I'll go and talk to her, Dr. Bach.
Hello, Brown Eyes.
Hello, Kira.
Aren't you glad to see me?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Oh, congratulations on your acquittal today. We were there.
I know. I sensed it. I was hurt that you didn't come up and congratulate me.
Well, there were photographers and Why, Kira, your hair, it's black again.
Isn't it always? Don't you like it?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. It's beautiful.
Am I beautiful? Brown Eyes.
Very, very beautiful.
And are you happy to have me back?
Oh, yes.
I always did like Brown Eyes.
Kira.
Tell me, how do you like my new clothes? My gown?
Why, it's very nice.
Nice. It's exquisite. I have a whole new wardrobe, hats, shoes,
Well,
suits.
how, Kira? Where did you get the money?
Money?
You only had $3 when you left the hospital.
Oh. So I did.
Kira. Kira, you did take that wallet from the old man.
Why, naturally.
You did murder him.
Certainly. Oh, come. Don't look so shocked. Oh, I'm tired, Brown Eyes. You'll excuse me if I appropriate Dr. Bach's room. Good night.
Dr. Bach, we've got to do something.
Yes, Daniel, we do.
I haven't slept a wink all night trying to think of what we can do.
I've been here in the laboratory all night. I think I know.
What?
This serum of yours, it has accomplished a miracle, yeah. It is the adaptive ultimate. Changes that take the ordinary person days or months, she accomplishes instantly. She walks into the sunlight, she is tan. She walks out, she is pale again. When she is in danger, she adapts. She could survive the electric chair, the hangman's noose. She was in danger in the courtroom. She adapted. She changed her whole appearance at will, so she could not be identified.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you must not blame yourself. You could not know what you were creating. Now, this morning, I operated on one of your guinea pigs. I found this. The pineal gland hypertrophied. That is what causes it.
Well, then we could operate and maybe change her back.
Yeah, but she can adapt to anything, anesthesia included. How can we operate? Unless we get her consent?
Well, perhaps.
Oh, you are dreaming, Daniel. Do you really think she will consent now? Now that she has power? Perhaps more power than any human being ever possessed before. Power for evil. And she has already killed one man, remember.
But if we watched her, Doctor, kept her under guard...
Yeah, again Pygmalion falls in love with his Galatea. No, Daniel, no. She must be destroyed. We must perform surgery at once.
Well, she'll die.
She will go back to what she was, with but a few hours to live. It is best, Daniel.
Yes, I suppose so.
Yes, Mrs. Getz? Hmm? Danke.
What is it, Dr. Bach?
And so perhaps she is also telepathic. She sensed what we were about to do, and now it is too late.
What do you mean?
Miss Zelas is gone. Disappeared.
Dr. Bach, did you call for me?
Yeah, Daniel. Have you seen the evening paper yet?
No, not yet.
Then here. After 2 months, there is news of our Miss Kira Zelas.
What? Let me see that. Where? Oh. The surprise of the evening was the appearance of John Callan, Ambassador at Large, Diplomat Extraordinary, the man slated to head the forthcoming World Atomic Energy Control Commission. Mr. Callan, one of Washington's confirmed bachelors, squired the gorgeous Kira Zelas.
You see? She has become gorgeous, our drab little urchin.
Miss Zelas, the dazzling beauty who affects a dark wig by day and a white one at night.
A great power of adaptability, courtesy of Dr. Daniel Scott. Dark by day, white by night.
Well, what are we going to do, Doctor?
Do?
The World Atomic Energy Control, the one real hope of world peace. Kira isn't interested in peace.
What can we do? Surgery, I know, but politics? We must wait and see. We must wait and see how far your mad woman will go.
Washington is agog with rumors about the romance between glamorous Kira Zelas and John Callan, the newly appointed head of the World Atomic Energy Control, one of the most powerful political figures on the globe.
John Callan leaves tomorrow for the crucial atomic energy conferences at Geneva, Switzerland, and sailing on the same boat as the exotic Miss Kira Zelas, with whom his name has been frequently linked. Rumor has it Miss Zelas acts as a sort of unofficial assistant to Mr. Callan, thus making her one of the most important women in the world.
Glamorous, exotic. Of such fragile stuff is world peace fashioned these days, Daniel.
I wonder what she intends to...
Some are they calling at dinner time?
Oh, sit still, Dr. Bach. I'll see who it is. Yes? Kira.
Hello, Brown Eyes. May I come in?
Why, yes, of course.
Oh, our exotic guinea pig, hmm?
Good evening, Dr. Bach. I'm not intruding.
Of course not.
You're very kind. John and I... You've read about Mr. Callan?
Oh, yes.
We're leaving for Europe tomorrow for the conferences in Switzerland.
Yes.
He had a series of meetings to attend tonight, so I told him I would stay here.
You're staying here?
I took the liberty of saying you were my uncle, Dr. Bach.
Oh.
John will call for me in the morning on his way to the airport. We're leaving at 8. I do hope I'm not too late for dinner.
Not at all. In fact, we're very happy to have you here. Aren't we, Dr. Scott?
Kira.
Hello, Brown Eyes.
What are you doing out here in the garden?
Waiting for you.
You knew I'd follow you?
Of course. Have you missed me?
You know I have. Oh, Kira, listen to me. Do you love this John Callan?
When I want love, I'll come to you, Brown Eyes.
Well, then why? What is it, money?
Money? I don't need money anymore. What does an empress need with money?
Empress?
That's what you've made me. The most powerful woman the world's ever known. John Callan. He's supposed to be important. But in my hands, he's clay, to be molded as I wish. Do you see what that means?
Yes, I see. You hold the fate of the world in your hands.
Exactly. To do with as I want. And I shall. Would you like to rule the world with me, Brown Eyes?
Kira, you're evil.
What is good? What's evil? Come here, Brown Eyes. Look at me. And forget such things.
Are you asleep, Dr. Bach?
Sleep? Who can sleep?
Kira's insane, Doctor. Do you know what she's planning to do?
I heard.
Oh. Maybe we could get to this Callan.
Yeah, and then what?
Well, if we could talk to him, tell him...
Tell him what? Didn't I talk to you? Would you listen? Where is she?
Oh, she's gone to sleep.
I tell you, there's only one remedy, surgery. It is the only hope.
But she'll never consent to surgery, Dr. Bach, and she's probably immune to anesthesia.
Maybe not all anesthesia.
What?
Downstairs in my laboratory, I have a tank of ethyl chloride.
You mean operate here tonight?
Yeah, tonight. Right here, where she sleeps. All right, then. Now stop staring down at her. Pour the anesthesia onto the cone. Hurry.
That ought to be enough to anesthetize an elephant.
Onto the face, quickly.
All right.
Stand tightly. Hold it
I'm
close.
I'm trying. She's forcing my hands. I can't hold her. She's too strong.
Fools! Did you think you could make me unconscious? You were going to operate on me. Is that what you were planning? Or were you going to slit my throat with that scalpel? Look!
Kira, don't!
There! You see? I plunge your knife into my heart. I withdraw it. And the wound is healed. Now, go away, both of you. I want to sleep. John will be calling for me at 8.
Past 5 in the morning. 2.5 hours more and she will leave. And the world will be one step nearer chaos. We are scientists, Dan. We have a responsibility to civilization. We must find a way to destroy this...
Carbon dioxide.
creature. Carbon dioxide,
It's a
of
fundamental
course.
biological law. No human can survive in its own waste product. Carbon dioxide is a human waste. Dr. Bach, if we could fill the room where she's sleeping with carbon dioxide, she'd become unconscious. You could operate then. Who are you calling?
The hospital. I will have them send over 2 tanks of carbon dioxide.
Do you think it should work then?
We must try anything. Hello, this is Dr. Bach. Let me talk to surgery. Now hurry, it is an emergency. The tube is ready. You sealed the crack under the door?
Yes.
You closed the window?
Yes.
All right. Let us start the gas. Now then, through the transom above the bedroom door, you will be able to observe her reactions. You placed the lighted candle inside the room?
Yes, Doctor. I left the candle on the table.
Observe it carefully.
All right.
When it goes out, your Miss Kira Zelas should be unconscious. Dan, can you see inside the room from up there?
Yes, Doctor. Candle is flickering, Doctor. Wait. No, it's still flickering. It's just gone out, Doctor.
Excellent. It means there is now a concentration of 8 or 10% carbon dioxide. The average person would long since be dead.
Doctor.
Yeah, Dan, what?
Oh, just a minute.
Yes?
She's breathing much more quickly now, convulsively.
Chain stroke breathing.
She's opening her eyes now.
What?
She's getting up.
Getting up?
She's staggering. Holding her throat, Doctor. She's gasping. She's
Yes?
moving toward the door. She's trying to unlock the...
So.
She's seen me. She's trying to...
Well. What is it?
She's collapsed. It's over.
Yes?
How do you do, Dr. Bach? I'm John Callan.
Why, yes, of course. Come in.
I haven't taken you away from anything.
Oh, no. We were performing some surgery, my associate and I. I have a miniature surgery here for emergencies, and we have just finished.
Is that the patient on the table?
Yes.
Is she...
Yes, she is dead.
Too bad. Sea-looking creature, wasn't she?
She was a charity case.
Well, I won't keep you. Is Kira here?
No, she changed her plans. She said there were some things she wished to do, and she would meet you at the airport.
Well, that's a woman's prerogative, isn't it, changing plans?
Yes.
I'd better get a move on, then. Nice to see you, Doctor. I hope we'll meet again when I return from Europe.
Yes, that will be nice, Mr. Callan, and good luck on your mission.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Well, Daniel, maybe we will get some sleep now. Dan.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Doctor. I was daydreaming. She's lovely, isn't she?
Lovely. Yeah, then lovely. May she always be in your memory.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today, we have presented transcribed The Adaptive Ultimate by John Jessel, adapted for radio by Chet Spurgeon and Herb Futran, with editorial supervision by John Dunkel, starring Edgar Barrier as Dr. Bach and Stacey Harris as Dan Scott. Featured in the cast were Elsie Holmes, Frank Gerstle, Larry Dobkin, Tom Charlesworth, and Ann Morrison. Special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week,
you are trapped in a dark, empty house. A girl lying dead at your feet. And surrounding you, closing in on you, are the band of killers, deadly enemies of your country and yourself. And they are intent on murdering you.
Next week, we escape with the famous story Confidential Agent by Graham Greene. Be sure to tune in at this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. This is Roy Rowan speaking for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Autolite and its 98,000 dealers bring you Mr. Jack Benny in tonight's presentation of Suspense. Tonight, Autolite, following a popular trend, anticipates the strange disappearance of experimental rocket ship Y-272B. The time, the year 2053. The place, the planet Mars. The star, Mr. Jack Benny. Say, Hap, that was quite a speech you made last night. You were as dynamic as an Autolite Stay-Full battery.
Oh, that's flattery, Harlow.
And what a battery it is, Hap. The Autolite Stay-Full is the power-packed pepster that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
I really don't deserve such praise, Harlow.
Why not? That's the battery with the fiberglass retaining mats protecting every positive plate to reduce shedding and flaking and give the Autolite Stay-Full longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
That was really good, eh, Harlow?
Oh, no one could do any better than to visit his nearest Autolite battery dealer, who services all makes of batteries. To quickly locate him, just call Western Union by number...
And ask for Operator 25.
I'll tell you the name of your nearest Autolite battery dealer, where you can get an Autolite Stay Full.
The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite presents transcribed Plan X, starring Mr. Jack Benny, hoping once again to keep you in suspense.
The card. Do you have the card yet?
One more run through the machine.
Toreg, when do you think the Earth rocket is arriving?
Tomorrow. But if the Grand Council wanted the card before now, they should have asked me before now.
Is that it? Let me see it.
Here.
13756. Zeno. Assembly line worker. Atomic escalator factory. Toreg, this is the man for the job?
He has the specifications called for.
An assembly line worker. Why, it's incredible. Incredible.
Yes? Yes? Right away. You may go in now, Zeno. The Grand Council is ready for you.
One 3756 called Zeno. Come forward.
Yes, sir.
Zeno, the Grand Council of Mars has a mission for you to perform.
Me? A mission?
You have been selected because of the qualities shown on your work and identity card, Form 42-A. Set habit patterns, attention to detail, no strong emotional or biological drives, and complete suppression of imagination.
Well, I always pride myself
Do not
that
speak unless questioned, Zeno. The Grand Council has other important matters of state.
Of course, of course.
You have heard the telephone broadcast that an armed rocket from the planet Earth is approaching Mars.
Oh, I did hear something about it, yes.
Their course has been plotted as bringing them to a landing on the plain outside the city at 10:14 tomorrow morning.
10:14. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
You will see it, Citizen Zeno.
Me?
You.
Well, I'd certainly like to, but I'm due in the atomic escalator factory at 8. I'm on stair treads, you know. And
We've arranged a leave from your job.
Leave? Well, I'm not arguing with the Grand Council, but I've got a pretty important job there, and...
13756, you've been selected to meet and deal with the Earth rocket.
Me?
You will put Plan X into operation.
Plan X?
Citizen Zeno, every Martian for the last 50 years has been thoroughly grounded in Plan X, if and when a rocket should come from the Earth.
Oh, Plan X. Oh, you see, I thought you said Plan X, of course.
Then you understand and accept the responsibility.
Oh, anything to help out.
Those assisting you on the mission will be in contact with you.
Good, good.
Have the other council members any questions?
No, I don't believe so.
13756 called Zeno. You are now officially operating under the provisions of Plan X.
Well, thank you. I took the aerial transmission belt directly home. Let them get along without me at the escalator factory if they could. Besides, it was almost quitting time. I went to bed early that night. Tomorrow was going to be a big day. Plan X. Out of the whole population of Mars, I was picked to carry out Plan X. Oh, I'll admit I had my criticisms of the Grand Council in the past, but this restored my confidence in them. Yes, sir. They couldn't have picked a better Martian. I think I'll have a second cup of Ostrich, Mother.
Zeno, you haven't time.
You'll be late for the factory as it is.
As I told you, Mother, I'm on leave. Orders of the Grand Council.
Oh, yes, of course, Plan X. But will the Grand Council care if you don't get your job back?
There won't be any trouble. They couldn't replace me in stair treads, and they know it. Pass the Gorot, will you, Mother?
Here. But it's fattening, Zeno.
Well, I got a hard task coming up, Mother. I owe it to myself.
And you will be careful, Zeno.
Oh, Mother, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. It's just an invasion rocket from that stupid planet Earth. So will you stop worrying?
Ah, you're just like your father was, Zeno. Too brave for your own good.
I am? Well, it's nothing, really. I took my time going over to the field where the Earth rocket was to land. I got there at 10, with not another soul around. Another few minutes, and I had my pocket radar screen working. Yep, the rocket was coming in, right on time. Then I could hear it out in space, and soon after that I could see it, bearing our first visitors from Earth. Gee, I was thinking they must be a brave crew. I almost felt sorry for them. It wasn't a bad landing. Not the greatest, but not bad. After another 10 minutes, a port in the side of the rocket started to swing open, and I walked over. If I do say it myself, I made quite an impression.
Commander, look.
Great Scott, what is it?
Commander, I think we've met our first Martian.
All right, keep back, everybody. Dr. Fielding and I will deal with it. Him, whatever it is. Hand me the Martian kit, Parker.
All ready, sir?
Come on, Fielding. We'll be ready for anything.
Right, Commander. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I'll try to talk to him. We Earth people, we friends. Friends? We come from out there. Oh, blasted Fielding, I feel like a fool.
Let me try, Commander. We bring you presents. Here, we bring you beads, cloths of many colors. Take them.
You wouldn't have something a little more conservative?
Fielding, he speaks Esperanto.
Incredible.
Gentlemen, welcome to Mars.
It's almost as if he was expecting us.
Oh, yes, for some days now. Ever since you left Earth, as a matter of fact.
You hear that, Fielding?
Commander, we may very well be in the presence of a superior race.
Well, thank you.
You say you expected us? Everyone expected us?
Oh, certainly.
But you're here alone.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, all other adult Martians are, shall we say, unavailable.
For how long?
Not wishing to pry, but how long are you staying?
Well, they've taken to the hills, have they? No need to be afraid of us. No need at all.
There's no one in your city over there?
Mainly unavailable. But I'll be glad to show you around. Martian hospitality, you know.
Amazing. Can we go right away, Commander? I'll get Connie.
You can call her, Fielding, but we don't want to blunder into a trap. All right, men. All in. Parker, take 3 men and stay here for rocket guard.
Yes, sir.
Ready, Fielding?
All set, Commander. Connie, I want you to meet our first Martian.
Dr. Fielding, I don't believe it.
Miss Morrison, this is,
13756, called Zeno.
Miss Morrison, this is Zeno.
How do you do?
Well, how do you do?
Incredible. But he's almost handsome in a strange way. And he speaks our language.
Maybe a trick of some kind. Expedition Force, on to...
It's a little difficult to pronounce.
On to the city!
We marched into the city, which, of course, appeared quite deserted. Plan X. I showed them a few of the sights, the canals, the Og factory, and the hall of the Grand Council. I was walking alongside of Connie, Miss Morrison, who was most unlike the women of Mars. I caught myself showing off, riding the aerial transmission belt with one hand. Finally, I took them all to the art museum.
Oh, Commander, this place, this civilization, it's fantastic, fantastic.
Look at this sculpture, Dr. Fielding. The line, the detail. I've never seen anything so beautiful.
It's nothing, really.
Zeno, you don't mean that you...
Well, no. You see, I work at an atomic escalator factory. I'm in stair treads.
Everybody, over here. Look at this.
Oh, what is it? What, isn't that what...
Zeno, is this what I think it is?
I'll have to read the nameplate. Oh, yes, a flying saucer. From 1952, your calendar. 100 years old.
1952, the year of the flying saucers. Then they did come from Mars.
Oh, yes.
But none of them ever landed on Earth. Why?
It just didn't seem worthwhile. Nothing personal, of course.
I just can't get over this planet. It's so different from anything we imagined.
Now, here's something you might be interested in. Right over here.
What? Looks like a weapon of some kind.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you see, it's a paralyzer ray. It's 300 years old.
But why do you have it in a museum?
You don't mean that weapons like this are 300 years obsolete?
Well, you might say that, yes. You see, no adult Martian has carried a weapon for hundreds of years.
Well, why not?
Why should we?
But to defend yourself.
Well, we just have no aggressive impulses, that's all.
Well, if someone struck you, wouldn't you strike back?
I couldn't. But it doesn't matter. No one could strike me.
No Martian, that is.
Yes. We've never had any trouble.
Zeno, you're in the diplomatic service?
The escalator game.
Yet you were delegated to meet us.
Yes, by the Grand Council. You see, we stopped having diplomats handle our important missions years ago. Again, nothing personal, of course.
I see. But you are empowered to deal with us.
Deal with you? I certainly am.
Good. Now, it seems logical to me that we should work out a mutual defense pact. Not right now, of course.
Mr. Zeno! Mr. Zeno!
Who's that?
It looks like children.
We have to see him, Mr. Zeno.
Just some little friends of mine.
Oh, they're darling.
What's the problem, Ormy?
We're building something, and we're all out of uranium. We need some right away, and...
Zeno, does he mean real uranium?
Oh, of course, Dr. Fielding. Oh, it won't hurt them a bit.
We have to have it right away, Mr. Zeno. We just have to have it.
The city was deserted. Where did these children come from?
Oh, you know how it is with kids when they get to playing.
You'll get the uranium for us, won't you, Mr. Zeno? Will you?
Fascinating. What are they playing, Zeno?
Yes. What's the game?
I don't think you've heard of it, Commander. It's called Plan X.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Jack Benny in Plan X, tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Say, Harlow, do you like to make speeches?
Sure, Hap, especially about the Autolite Stay Full battery. Friends, Romans, motorists, lend me your ears while I praise the greatest of the great, the incomparable Autolite Stay Full. The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. The battery that gives longer life as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards. The famous Autolite Stay Full has over 3 times the liquid reserve of ordinary batteries. And because every positive plate is protected by fiberglass retaining mats to reduce shedding and flaking, the Autolite Stay Full just naturally gives longer life than ordinary batteries.
And where can one get this glorious battery?
From your nearest Autolite battery dealer who services all makes of batteries. To quickly locate him, just phone Western Union and ask for operator 25.
And I'll tell you where you can get an Autolite Stay Full, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Jack Benny in Elliot Lewis's production of Plan X, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
For the next week, I showed the Earth expedition around the city, signed a few treaties, and had several long conversations with Miss Morrison. Well, not too long, but I felt we were building a solid friendship. It was too bad it was coming to an end.
You're not going out again this evening, Zeno?
Mother, so I've been out 2 evenings in a row. Doesn't have to be fatal, you know.
This is the time of year you always get that chest cold.
Oh, chest cold, chest cold. Anyway, Mother, I have to go over to the rocket.
Don't they plan to go back to Earth tomorrow?
They plan to, yes. Miss Morrison promised to take a little farewell walk with me this evening.
Don't let her keep you out in the moonlight too long, Zeno.
Mother, why, that's the most ridiculous thing
You just don't know how attractive you are.
Now, Mother, Miss Morrison and I are merely friends. And to think of anything beyond that is just...
Mr. Zeno! Mr. Zeno! We're almost finished the game, Mr. Zeno.
Good, good. All finished, Army?
Just about. It's tomorrow morning at 8:45, isn't it?
8:45. Anything else you need, Army? I mean, any more uranium?
No, I just wanted to make sure it was 8:45. Well, see you in the morning, Mr. Zeno. Goodbye, Mrs. Zeno.
See you in the morning, Army.
Such a cute little fellow, Zeno. And smart.
Is he? Mother, you have no idea. The Earth expedition was camped beside their rocket, getting ready for takeoff the next day. Connie, Miss Morrison, waved when she saw me coming. I waved back, and then she smiled at me, and I smiled back. It was a beautiful evening. We walked out over the plain, Connie and I, and then we sat down quite close. Connie lit a cigarette, and I opened up a package of Gurkhag.
Zeno.
Yes, Connie. Miss Morrison.
Connie. How is it you're not married, Zeno? Don't Martians believe in it?
Oh, definitely. But there's Mother and...
And what?
Connie, you don't find me a little bit strange?
You mean because you're a Martian?
Not exactly. You see, even to Martian girls, I'm a little bit strange.
I find you very attractive, Zeno.
Really?
You're from a superior race?
Well...
The commander may not see it, but Dr. Fielding does, and I do. Your civilization, your culture, and you.
Actually, I'm...
What are the other Martians like? You know, I seem to feel there are people all around, watching, waiting, and yet we've seen only you.
And the children, of course.
Yes, and the children. They've been playing around the rocket all day.
Yes, yes.
Zeno, what'll happen to this planet, this beautiful planet, when the next Earth rocket comes? And the next one?
Connie.
I'd almost like to stay here. Or I wish we'd never come. None of us.
Connie, there's something I...
What, Zeno? What is it?
It's just that it's getting cold. Maybe we better go back. I walked with Connie back to the rocket, and then I went home. There was a message on the autophonopad. The Grand Council wanted to see me at once. You sent for me, gentlemen?
13756 called Zeno. You are nearing the completion of Plan X.
I hope my work has been satisfactory.
You were selected for certain qualifications, Zeno. Set habit patterns, attention to detail, no strong emotional drives.
I remember, yes.
You have assumed a responsibility based on those qualifications.
I suppose you might put it that way.
Are you still prepared to discharge that responsibility?
Well, I think you might as well know that it's been my criticism in the past, as well as that of a lot of other taxpayers, that the Grand Council interferes entirely too much in the private lives of, well, what I mean to say...
Are you prepared to discharge your responsibility?
But about Connie, Miss Morrison, isn't there some way...
You know that there is not.
Well, I suppose not, no.
Plan X will then be completed.
I assure the Grand Council. At 8:45 tomorrow morning, Plan X will be completed. I didn't sleep well that night, and Mother was worried when I hadn't any appetite in the morning. She thought it was the start of one of my chest colds. Purposely, I didn't go out to the rocket until almost 8:40. They were blasting the motors, getting ready to take off.
Zeno, I thought you weren't coming.
I overslept, Connie. That is, I didn't really oversleep, but...
The children have been here for an hour.
We're just about finished playing, Mr. Zeno.
Oh, good, Army. Did you win the game? Plan X?
I think so. We'll know in a minute, Mr. Zeno.
They're so intense. Are the children on Mars always that way, Zeno?
Well, not always, no.
Ah, come to see us off, did you, Zeno? Good boy. We counted on you.
Well, thank you.
Come over here, Fielding.
Yes, Commander.
Connie, Fielding, Zeno here has been so helpful to us that I've come to a decision.
That's very nice of you, but I'm pretty well stocked up on beads right now.
A different kind of a present. Zeno, I've decided to invite you to come with us to Earth.
To Earth?
How about it, Zeno? We're taking off in 16 minutes at 9 o'clock. How about it?
Well, it's not that I don't appreciate your thinking of me, but Mother would worry and...
You see, we need you, Zeno.
That's not true.
Well, I'm afraid it is. You see, I think Zeno is a much more important man than a worker in an elevator factory.
Escalator. I'm in stair trends.
And if we have Zeno along the next time we come back to Mars, we'd be much less likely to run into, well, an ambush.
I'm afraid he's right, Connie.
He's not right.
How about it, Zeno?
Thanks, but no.
Commander, those kids, they've got some sort of a ray gun set up.
Fielding. Is it real, Fielding?
Why, it looks like it, Commander.
Get Zeno over in front of us, quick. Now they can't shoot without hitting him. Get your gun out, Parker.
You mean the kids, Commander?
If we have to, yes. Tell them not to fire on us, Zeno.
I'm sorry, Connie. Really sorry.
Oh, it's all right, Zeno. Do what you have to do.
Shall we shoot, Mr. Zeno?
Have your gun ready, Parker.
It wouldn't do any good, Commander. All right, Army. Plan X.
Did you fire, Parker?
Me, sir? Fire a gun? Why, I couldn't. I couldn't do a thing like that.
No, of course you couldn't. I don't know what made me ask.
The rocket, its motors have stopped. Its motors have stopped, Commander.
Well, we aren't going anywhere, are we?
Someone said something about going back to Earth.
Back to Earth?
Oh, no. Of course not. Of course not.
Everybody all right?
What happened, Commander? What happened?
Nothing, really. It's just that Ormy and his little friends built a maturity ray. It takes people who are, shall we say, less advanced and increases their IQ by several thousand years.
That's amazing.
Child's play.
Zeno, do you mean to say...
Commander, Dr. Fielding, Parker, Connie, permit me to congratulate you as fellow Martians.
Utterly amazing.
Connie.
Look, here come the Martians.
Our fellow Martians, thousands of them. They're coming to welcome us.
Connie.
Oh, look at them. Oh, they look so handsome, so intelligent, so...
Connie.
Yeah, excuse me, Zeno. I'll be back, Commander. I have to go to them. I'll be back.
Well, she did like me for a while. Before Plan X. But she did like me. Even just for a while. That's something, isn't it?
Suspense. Presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Jack Benny.
This is Harlow Wilcox again, speaking for Autolite. world's largest independent manufacturer of automotive electrical equipment. Autolite is proud to serve the greatest names in the industry. That's why, during the early months of 1953, as we did last year, the Autolite family will join in saluting the leading car manufacturers who install Autolite products as original equipment. Our Autolite family is a worldwide family and numbers among its members some 30,000 men and women in Autolite plants in the United States, Canada, and many foreign countries, and the 18,000 people who have invested a portion of their savings in Autolite, as well as thousands of Autolite distributors and dealers, and the many leading manufacturers who use Autolite products as original equipment. Our Autolite family will salute the Dodge division of Chrysler Corporation on the next Autolite Suspense program on television. If you live in a television area, check the day and time of Suspense so that you'll be sure to see this program.
Next week, the dramatic report of a man's desperate race for freedom. A true story with names and places changed in order to protect the lives of the principals. The story is called The Man Who Cried Wolf. Our star, Mr. Jeff Chandler. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is transcribed and directed by Elliot Lewis, with music composed by Lucian Morowick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. Plan X was written for Suspense by Richard Powell. Featured in tonight's cast were Mary Jane Croft, Norma Varden, John McIntyre, Truda Marson, Howard McNear, William Conrad, Jack Crucian, Joseph Kearns, and Stuffy Singer.
The Jack Benny Show may be heard every Sunday on the CBS Radio Network.
And remember next week, Mr. Jeff Chandler in The Man Who Cried Wolf.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. It happened during a routine skirmish in the Great War. Patrols advanced from the defense perimeter under jet cover and preceded by napalm throwers. The enemy defended in depth and mopped up with guided 98s fired from 40 miles to the rear. The blast area was 10 miles in circumference, and the medics didn't find much to pick up over 500 yards in.
Take it in here. Where? Look out, it's lousy with mud. Okay, man, guide me. More. That left. Okay. More. Okay. Hold it. Okay. Stretchers. Come on, drivers, get those men out. Yes, sir. Get a move on, line them up. Come on. Easy. You want to kill him? Okay, take it away. Might have left these Joes where they was. Half of them won't last till the plane comes.
As long as they're alive, they'll be treated. Get out the tags, Travis. Start talking names.
Yes, sir. This one must have been 1,000 yards in.
Get his dog tag out.
What a mess. Here. Hartley, Allen, Captain G5, Chem Research, AN73D, number SO238694003J.
Alan Hartley?
Alan Hartley.
I wonder if that could be the Hartley that wrote Children of the Mist and Conqueror's Road.
Never heard of him. Major, I think maybe he's part conscious. Maybe I should give him another shot?
Go ahead, Sergeant. There isn't much else we can do for him. It's a rotten shame.
Ain't it always? Okay, Captain, give me your arm.
There.
Get up, Alan. You can't stay in bed all day.
I remember that. Clear as if it were real.
Up and at 'em. Hit the deck.
Remarkably vivid. Strange.
Alan, you all right?
I'm all right. What's wrong with my voice? It's too high.
Hey, what are you doing? Practicing singing?
My voice has changed.
Is that all? You're growing up. Happy birthday, son.
Happy birthday?
Hey, wake up, son. Wake up.
I am awake.
Come on, out of bed.
I don't understand.
Breakfast waiting. Now, out of bed or I'll turn it over.
All right. It's a dream.
Maybe, but you're wide awake now.
I am awake now.
Well, half awake anyway.
That's the Bell of St. Boniface, isn't it? What day is it?
You kidding? You forget today's your birthday?
No, I didn't forget.
Neither did I. Here, son. Happy 13th birthday. You won't guess what's in here.
A rifle. A light .22 rifle.
How'd you know that?
I remembered.
Did I spill the beans sometime? I could have sworn it'd be a surprise. Well, go on, open it. Like it?
Yeah, it's perfect, Dad.
I'll be shaving, Alan. Come down to breakfast when you're ready. It's a big day today. You're almost a man.
Almost.
You're still groggy. Snap out of it, Alan.
I will. There's a dream in it somewhere. But I'm not sure which.
What?
Never mind, Dad. I'll be right down for breakfast.
Now for coffee. Mrs. Stauber makes the best in town.
A black for me.
A what?
Oh, I mean...
You may be 13, Alan, but they're still a little young for coffee, especially black.
Oh, I wasn't thinking.
What are you going to do today, son?
I want to do some reading this morning, I guess.
That's always a good thing to do. After breakfast, suppose you take a walk down to the station and get me a Times.
Didn't it come?
What, the Times? They don't deliver. Be a good idea, though. Maybe I'll talk to Sam Ashburn about it. Here's a $50, Alan. Get anything you want for yourself out of the change.
Thanks, Dad.
Finish your milk before you go.
Oh, sure, Dad.
And hurry back. I like to finish the crossword puzzle before lunch.
Here you are, Alan. 1 times. Tell your father the puzzle's a stinker.
Thanks, Mr. Ashburn.
Look out for the trucks when you cross the highway.
Oh, I'll go across Elton's lot shortcut.
Elton's? You'll have a hard time crossing there, son. There's 4 buildings on that block.
I thought they burned down.
Seen 'em this morning, big as life.
Oh, I guess that didn't happen yet.
What'd you say?
Oh, nothing, Mr. Ashburn. I was just muttering.
In my days, youngsters talked up.
Yes, sir. Bye, Mr. Ashburn. Monday, August 6, 1945. Okinawa 1, bombing Japan.
Hey, Alan, wait up.
Larry Morton. Hiya, Larry.
Hi, Al. Hey, you want to have a catch or something?
No, I have some things I want to do at home.
Wow, get him. Fancy pants talk. Things I want to do at home.
Oh, go chase yourself around the block.
Go jump in a garbage can, will you?
Go take a flying jet to the moon.
Hey, that's a new one. A flying jet to the moon. Hey, you thought up a new one, Al.
Yeah.
Hey, how about us going swimming at the canoe clubs after?
Gee, I wish I could. I gotta stay home. After.
You see the football movie at the Grand? Boy, what a team. Notre Dame.
I thought you liked Cornell.
Cornell? Ha, they couldn't even beat Vassar.
You're going to Cornell, aren't you?
Me? Cornell? Fat chance.
I'll bet you do.
I wouldn't take your money.
I know you wouldn't. You'll go to Cornell, all right.
Cornell. Far above Cayuga's waters, there's an awful smell.
Just the same, you'll go to Cornell. I've got to hurry, Larry.
Well, so long, Al. See ya.
So long, Larry. See ya.
I'm stuck in this corner. A 7-letter word to mix in proportion.
Titrate.
Huh? T-I... It fits. How'd you know that, Ellen?
What? Oh, I read it somewhere, I guess.
Oh. What are you reading now, Tarzan again?
No, not Tarzan.
It's refreshing to see you with a book. Sometimes I think I ought to forbid comic books in the house. Yeah, they must be raising the devil with those bombing raids in Japan.
How long do you think the war in Japan will last, Dad?
Oh, I'd say the middle of 1946. We'll have to invade those islands foot by foot.
I wouldn't be surprised if the war was over very suddenly.
How, by magic? There isn't a thing on earth will make those Japanese surrender. You expect somebody to make a pass and it'll be all over by this afternoon?
That's just about it.
Mr. Hartley, excuse me. Could I see you for a minute?
Oh, hello, Mr. Gutchall. Sure.
That's Frank Gutchall, Dad?
That's right.
Excuse me. Didn't mean to disturb you, Mr. Hartley.
That's quite all right. It's a lovely day, isn't it, Mr. Gutchall?
The Lord's world is always beautiful.
Oh, of course, Mr. Gutchall.
Mr. Hartley, I wonder if you could lend me a gun and some bullets.
Huh?
My little dog's been hurt, and it's been suffering something terrible.
Oh, that's too bad.
I want a gun to put the poor thing out of its pain.
Oh, of course. How would a 20-gauge shotgun do? You wouldn't want anything heavy.
I was hoping you'd let me have a little gun. Maybe so big.
A pistol?
So I could put it in my pocket. Wouldn't look right for a godly man to carry a hunting gun through town. I don't hold with killing innocent creatures. People wouldn't understand that it was for a work of mercy.
Of course, I understand. You're a very religious man.
The whole world is evil, Mr. Hartley.
Well, sometimes it certainly looks like it. Well, I have a Colt 38 special from the auxiliary police outfit.
That's fine.
You'll have to bring it right back, Mr. Gutchall. I might be called out.
Dad, Dad, wait a minute. I just remembered.
Remembered what, son?
Aren't there some cartridges left for the Luger? Then you wouldn't be without the Colt.
Hey, that's right. I've got a German automatic, Mr. Gutchall, I could let you have. That way I wouldn't get stuck.
Wait, Dad, I'll get it. I know where the cartridges are.
Oh, be careful, son. Well, Mr. Gutchall, it sure turned out nice after all that rain.
Hello, police headquarters. This is Blake Hartley. Frank Gutchall, who lives on Campbell Street, has just borrowed a gun from me ostensibly to shoot a dog. What? No, he has no dog. He intends shooting his wife. Yes, I'll take out the firing pin. He'll walk home. If you hurry, you can get him in there on time. Right.
Oh, there you are. What kept you, Ellen?
I couldn't find the cartridges at first. I'll show Mr. Gutchall how it works. It's all loaded, ready to shoot. This is the safety. Just push it forward and up. There are 8 shots in it.
Did you load the chamber, Ellen?
Oh, sure. It's unsafe now. You understand how it works, Mr. Gutchall?
Yes, I understand. Thank you, Mr. Hartley. Thank you, Sonny. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Gutchall. Return the gun when you're done.
Yes, I'll be done with it soon. Goodbye.
Alan, you shouldn't have loaded that gun.
I guess it's all over now. I had to keep you from fooling with it. Didn't want you to see I took out the firing pin.
You what?
Gutchall didn't want that gun to shoot a dog. He's a fanatic. He sees visions, hears voices. The voices probably put him up to this. I'll submit that any man who holds intimate conversations with disembodied spirits isn't to be trusted with a gun. He wants to shoot his wife.
What are you talking about?
While I was upstairs, I called the police. I put a handkerchief over my mouth and told them I was you.
Why'd you have to do that?
I couldn't have told them. This is little Alan Hartley, 13 years old.
And suppose he really wants to shoot a dog. What kind of a mess will I be in then?
No mess, because I'm right. But you'll have to front for me. They give me a lot of cheap boy hero publicity, which I don't want.
This is crazy, Alan. This is absolutely crazy.
We'll have the complete returns in 20 minutes.
Mr. Hartley, Mr. Blake Hartley?
That's right.
I'm Detective Sergeant Kaborski from Homicide. Here's your Luger.
Thank you.
I don't know how you spotted that guy, but when we busted in, he was pointing that gun at his wife, wearing a blue streak because it wouldn't go off.
Well, I'm glad I was able to help.
They may have some kind of citation, Mr. Hartley.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary.
Well, in the department, we figure a little publicity never hurt nobody. Even a lawyer, huh?
I really prefer to have it kept quiet.
Well, whatever you say. We'll want you to drop around in the morning for a statement.
I'll be glad to.
Well, thanks, Mr. Hartley. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Sonny.
Goodbye, Sergeant. Why don't you take the citation, Dad?
Well, you were right. You saved that woman's life. Let's see you put back the firing pin.
Sure. There.
Suppose we have a little talk.
But I explained everything.
You did not. Yesterday, you wouldn't even have known how to take this pistol apart. Today, you've been using language and expressing ideas that are outside of everything you've ever known before. Now, I want to know.
Well, I hope you're not toying with a medieval notion of obsession.
What?
You see, I'm changed. When did you first notice this?
Last night, you were still my little boy. This morning, I don't know. You've been strange all day. Alan, what's happened to you?
I wish I could be sure myself, Dad. You see, when I woke up this morning, all I could remember was lying on a stretcher, injured by a bomb explosion. I was 43 years old, and the year was 1975.
1975? That's right. You'll be 43 in 1975. But a bomb?
Yes, during the siege of Buffalo in the Third World War. I was a captain in G5 Scientific Warfare General Staff.
Buffalo? You mean Buffalo, New York?
Yes, there had been a transpolar invasion of Canada. I was sent to the front to check on service failures of a new lubricating oil. I got hit by a bomb blast. I remember being picked up and getting a narcotic injection. The next thing I knew, I was in bed upstairs, and it was 1945 again. And I was back in my own 13-year-old body.
Alan, you just had a nightmare to end all nightmares, that's all.
I thought it might be that at first, but I rejected it. It wouldn't fit the facts.
But it's ridiculous. All this Battle of Buffalo stuff. You picked it up listening to the radio. All the commentators have been going on about another war after this one. You've just got an undigested chunk of H.V. Kaltenborn in your subconscious.
But that isn't everything. I remember 4 years of high school, 4 years at Cornell, 7 years as a reporter on the Philadelphia Record, 3 novels, Children of the Mist, Rose of Death, and Conqueror's Road. I wrote detective stories under a phony name. I worked in chemistry. You think a 13-year-old can dream up all that stuff?
But it's the only possible explanation.
Maybe, but I can speak 5 languages today that I couldn't yesterday. French, German, Chinese, Russian, and Spanish. Although I've got a Mexican accent you could cut with a knife.
But how did it happen? I can't believe it.
All I know is here I am. I've been reading up on time theories. Nobody seems to know much about them. Evidently, time exists parallel as another dimension. And I've got kicked backwards and somehow.
But how?
It may have been the radiations from the bomb. Or the narcotic injection. Or both together. But the fact remains I'm here with full knowledge of my future identity.
This is quite a shock, Alan.
But you do believe me, don't you?
Yes, I suppose I must. You seem so strange, as if you weren't my son.
I'm your son, all right. The same body as yesterday. I've just had an educational shortcut.
Wait a minute. If you can remember the next 30 years, suppose you tell me when the war is going to end. This one against the Japs, I mean.
Sure. The Japanese surrender will be announced at exactly 7:01 p.m. on August 14th, a week from Tuesday. Better make sure we have plenty of grub in the house by then. Everything will be closed up tight till Thursday morning. Even the restaurants. I remember we had nothing to eat in the house but some scraps.
Tuesday week? That's pretty sudden, isn't it?
Not after today.
What do you mean, what happened today?
Plenty. Oh, what time is it, Dad?
11:16.
Is your watch right?
To the second, why?
It'll come at exactly 11:17:40.
What'll come?
The radio announcement.
What are you getting at? Something important on the radio? We'll see.
Don't bother, Dad. It won't work. I remember we had a tube burned out.
Yeah, there is something wrong. What is this announcement of yours?
I memorized it in journalism school at Columbia in 1954. What time is it?
11:18.
They're breaking into the programs now. President Truman has just announced that an atomic bomb has been dropped on the Japanese industrial city of Hiroshima. The bomb was dropped 16 hours ago, and the announcement was delayed to ascertain the results of the explosion. A man named John Howard Peterson read the announcement from the Washington newsroom of NBC.
I don't believe it.
No? Listen. That's the Burt Plate factory whistle and the bells at St. Boniface. Next, the whistle at the volunteer firehouse.
And it's true. It is true.
Sure. Then Larry Morton came by on his bicycle.
Hey, Alan, you hear? You hear about the bomb? An atomic bomb.
Yeah, we heard.
Boy, atomic bomb. Oh, boy. I gotta go find my pop. He's on the golf course. Bye, Al. Bye, Mr. Hartley.
You knew. You knew about it.
The next bomb hits Nagasaki.
I thought that stuff about atomic energy was so much fantasy. What? Was that the kind of bomb that got you?
That was a firecracker compared to the one that got me. It was a guided 98, exploded 10 miles away.
And that's going to happen in 30 years?
I remember it.
How about me? Oh, wait, never mind. I don't think I better know when I'm going to die.
I couldn't tell you anyway. I had a letter from you just before I left for the front. You were 78 then, and you were still hunting and fishing and flying your own plane.
But another war and fought on American soil. Alan, I wish this hadn't happened to you.
It happened. I remember it. But if I can help it, I'm not going to get killed in any Battle of Buffalo.
But if you remember it, if time exists as a parallel dimension, then every tick we're getting closer to that Third World War.
Dad, you know what I remembered when Gutcho came to borrow that gun?
Well, I suppose that you suspected him and warned me.
No, that wasn't it. The other time, the first time, when I was really 13. I wasn't home. I'd been swimming at the canoe club with Larry Morton. When I got home about half an hour from now, I found the house full of cops.
But if the gun didn't fire...
What makes you think it didn't? Gutcho talked the 38 out of you, went home, shot his wife 4 times in the body, once behind the ear, and used the 6th shot to blow his own brains out.
That's what you remember?
Yes, but now it hasn't happened because I warned you. Dad, I found out the future can be changed.
One man can't change the whole future.
I stopped the murder and the suicide.
I know, son,
With 30 years to work, I can stop a world war. I'll have the means.
The means?
Unlimited wealth and influence. I've got a good memory, Dad. Wrote a list out this afternoon. Look at this.
Assault, jet pilot, citation, ponder, middle ground, counter... What is this, code?
Horses. That's a list of Kentucky Derby winners from 1946 to 1970.
You sure?
I learned that list on a bet at the Officers Club in Cincinnati in 1971. Assault paid 8-1. You figure out what we can take in.
Oh, but gambling,
This
son.
isn't gambling. It's a sure thing. When we get rolling, we'll make the Rockefellers look like pikers.
Assault at 8-1. I suppose I could scrape up $5,000. In 10 years, that'll make a lot of money. Any other little thing you have in mind, Alan?
By 1952, we start building a political organization here in Pennsylvania. In 1960, I think we can elect you president.
Well, of course, president? Isn't that going a little too far?
Why not? Who wouldn't vote for a politician who was always right? Besides, that's one thing we've got to change. In 1960, we had a man in the White House who was good to his wife and sang a nice tenor. And that's about all. He fouled up so completely we ended up at war. I think President Hartley might be a little more trusted to take a strong line.
But I don't know anything about international decisions.
I do. I know all the wrong ones. If we can stop a murder, with time we can stop a war.
How do I start?
Well, as I remember, just after that bomb announcement, you got a phone call from the City Fusion Party about the next election.
Well, there is a lot of talk about a reform ticket.
That call is going to be important, Dad. It's the turning point. You've got... There it is.
Well, what do I do?
Answer it. Go ahead.
But, Alan,
Don't worry. I'll tell you what to say. Go ahead.
Hello? Yes, this is Blake Hartley. Judge Crimmins? Well, just a moment. Alan, he's asking me to run.
Oh, my head.
Alan, what's the matter? Alan,
Oh.
he passed out. Alan, what do I do now? Alan, listen to me. Alan, what's the matter? Alan!
Captain Hartley. Captain Hartley. Captain Hartley.
He was all right, Doctor. I gave him a shot and he was all right.
He's dead. All right, Sergeant, make out the tag.
Yes, sir.
Hartley, Allen, Captain. Dead August 8, 1975.
Alan, what happened? Alan!
Huh?
Alan, are you all right?
Hi, Dad.
I've got Judge Crimmins on the phone. What do I tell him?
What?
Alan, are you all right? You passed out.
Sure, I'm all right. Hey, today's my birthday, isn't it? What did you get me, Dad? What did you get me?
Alan, are you all right?
Sure, I'm okay. What did you get for my birthday, huh?
Don't you remember the Third World War?
What Third World War? Gee, Dad, what's the matter? You're looking at me funny.
Judge Crimmins, I'll have to call you back. Goodbye. You don't remember. You're back again, aren't you? Back to 13 years old.
Sure, I'm 13 today. For corn's sakes, Dad.
You must have died up there. It was only a mind transfer. That means now I'm on my own. I have to do it myself without your help.
Help for what? Oh, if it's the grass, I said I'd cut it tomorrow.
No, it isn't the grass. I've got to save your life, Alan. I can't let you die that way in 1975.
What are you talking about, Dad? You sound goofy.
I've got to change it all by myself.
Change what?
Never mind, Alan. You don't know yet. Come on, let's have lunch.
Sure, Dad. Hey, how about my present now? What did you get me for my birthday?
Hey, in a minute, son. Go on in.
Hurry up, Dad.
All right. Now, where'd I put that list of horses?
have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of...
Dimension
Homecoming is a joyous word. But when the home you're returning to is a burned-out radioactive planet, and when you cannot even imagine what terrible changes you will find there, the word then takes on a very different meaning. Next week, Dimension X brings you a strange story called Dwellers in Silence.
Dimension X is brought to you each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented Time and Time Again, written for radio by Ernest Kenoy, and the story by H. Beam Piper. Featured in the cast were David Anderson as Alan and Joseph Curtin as his dad. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Buck Rogers is on the air, brought to you by the makers of Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle, those delicious frozen confections on a stick. And now a message from the famous fellow who won the contest for the typical American boy, Popsicle Pete.
Say, kids, seems like everybody's saving bags from Popsicle, Creamsicle, and Fudgicle and getting the dandiest free gifts. Get a free gift list in your ice cream store. It's full of colored pictures of the presents.
Everybody loves Popsicle, Creamsicle, and Fudgicle on the handy stick. Are they good? So pure, so delicious, so downright refreshing.
Gee, you're making my mouth water.
Now they're full of energy, too, and a great big one costs only 5 cents.
The biggest nickel's worth I ever saw.
And remember, everything that goes into these great big luscious confections is the freshest and the finest. The kind of ingredients Mother uses in her own kitchen. Eat Popsicle, Fudgicle, and Creamsicle as often as you like. They help make you strong, but be sure you get the genuine. Look for the name Popsicle, Creamsicle, or Fudgicle printed on every bag.
Save bags for free gifts every day. Save your gift list, too. It's got a coupon on it worth 10 bags.
Well, now with Kane and Ardela established in the headquarters at the ruins of ancient Philadelphia, with Black Barney under the influence of the psychic restriction ray, things promise to be pretty exciting. But let's first pick up Buck and Wilma aboard their rocket plane as it roars along on its way to Dr. Hewer's laboratory in Niagara. Here we go. 500 years into the future.
Doggone it, Wilma, I certainly wish I knew why Dr. Hewer insisted we turn around and fly back to his laboratory this way.
I know it, Buck. Just when we were beginning to get somewhere in our hunt for Black Barney.
Right. That was a good, strong rocket trail we were following, too. And there was no question about it being his.
Unless Killer Kane took that ship away from him.
Wilma, that's a greater possibility than I care to admit. Yes, sir, you'll never convince me that Barney had run off with an experimental ship that way unless somebody forced him into it.
And who could it be but Killer Kane?
Right. And that's why I hated to leave the hot rocket trail we were following.
Dr. Hewer knew we were on that trail, didn't he?
Sure. I had Central Radio Bureau tell him we were.
Then he must have something mighty important up his sleeve to make us turn back this way.
Yeah. Well, we'll be at his laboratory in a couple of minutes now and find out what it's all about.
Buck.
Yeah?
Why not radio to him? Plenty of time to do it before we land.
Sure. Here, you take over the controls while I do it, will you, please?
Surely.
Only you'd better keep cutting down on the power or we'll fly on by Niagara before we know it.
Hey, I should say so. Do you know how fast we're traveling?
How fast?
A little over 1,200 miles an hour.
Phew. That is stepping along, isn't it?
You bet it is. Out in space with no air friction to heat up the hull or slow us down, it would be like crawling along. Down here within the atmosphere, it's going some.
Yeah. Well, you take care of navigation while I make this call.
Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is cut down the power. There.
Calling V121. Buck Rogers calling V121.
Of course, he may not have got back to his laboratory yet, Buck. Central Radio Bureau said he had just started when we talked to them.
Well, calling V121.
Hello, Buck. Did you get my message through Central Radio?
Why, yes, Doctor. And we're on our way into you now.
Good. Well, then why are you calling?
Oh, just to find out what this is all about. We were hot on Barney's rocket trail
Yes,
and...
yes, I know, Buck.
Well, yes, sir, and that trail was so fresh the gas analyzer pointers were fairly popping off the dial.
Buck, I have an idea that finding Barney is going to be far more difficult than simply following up his rocket trail.
Sure, Doctor, but it's the first thing for us to do in any case.
No. So the first thing for you to do is come back here to my laboratory.
But why, sir?
Tell you when you get back here. Now, come along.
Okay. We'll be there in a minute.
Signing off.
Signing off.
In a minute is right. Want to take over the controls?
Yeah, thanks. We can start coasting to a landing in about 2 shakes.
Well, take it easy. This ship isn't equipped with the gyrocosmic relativator, you know.
I wish it was. Poor old Barney and Willie thought they were doing us a favor when they took off in the ship that was equipped with one. And right now it'd be mighty handy to have it aboard here.
Well, here we are.
Yep. Hang on for landing. Now, let's go.
Right with you. Oh, hello, Doctor. Here we are.
Oh, come right in here, you two.
Right, sir.
Your radio call held me up a bit, but I'm finished with this thing in a minute.
Doctor, it's the gyrocosmic relativator. Don't tell me Black Barney and Willie came back here.
Yes, Doctor. When did they bring it back?
They didn't. This is a brand new one.
Oh, I thought it'd take weeks to put one of these things together, and that you'd need impenetrite from Pluto.
Well, I used a few scraps I was able to salvage in the main power room of the Central Radio Bureau.
Yeah?
I've been spending every minute working on this.
Well, I'm beginning to see the light. You had us come back here so we could install this on our ship before continuing the search for Barney and Willie.
Exactly. As long as his ship is so equipped, yours must be too. And Buck.
Yeah?
I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm of the opinion that Kane and Ardela must have something to do with the disappearance of Barney and Willie.
We certainly agree with you on that.
Yes. There, now.
Great day. You must have done some fast work on this thing.
Yes. And under a real handicap in the limited amount of impenetrite at my disposal.
What about the reports of impenetrite ore out near the city of Omaha?
Yeah, I've heard about that too, Doctor.
Yes, but the ore is so poor that an entirely new means of reduction must be developed to really make it worthwhile.
Worth investigating, though.
Well, I'm going to look into it at the very first opportunity. Meanwhile, our only sure source is the far-off planet Pluto.
We can't very well afford to lose this relevator, then, can we?
No, sir.
But is there anything I can do to help you there?
I'll fit the photoelectric cell unit into place, will you, please?
Yeah, sure. Goes right in front of this gear system unit, doesn't it?
That's right. You'll have to use the power vise to fit them together.
Okay. But how about fastening them?
Oh, molecular tension will take care of that because of the extreme care with which they've been machined. Go right ahead and put them into the vise.
Yes, sir.
Help you carry, Buck?
No, thanks. I can make it.
There we are. Be sure the sections are accurately lined up before you try to fit them.
Yeah, they're in perfect alignment. And here goes the vise that'll make the gyrocosmic relativator that'll help run down Kane and Ardela.
Well, Barney, how do you feel now? The psychic restriction ray isn't so bad, is it?
It's marvelous, Chief. Just leave it on for a couple of hours or two more, will you?
Sounds to me as though he's had plenty, Kay.
Right, Ardela. You can turn it off.
All right.
All right. Get up now, Barney.
Yeah. Thanks, Chief. I certainly appreciate your letting me get exposed to it. Yeah.
Then perhaps you can be of some help to us now, eh?
Well, I'll try awful hard, Chief.
That's the stuff. What we ought to do, Ardela, is get hold of Rogers and put him under the psychic restriction ray.
Not a bad idea.
Dumb as he is, I think he might really be of some use to us. Well,
Well?
From now on, we've got to take it easy and carefully plan everything we're going to do. Now, Barney.
Huh? Yeah, Chief.
Go out to where we've buried the rocket ship that has the gyrocosmic relativator on it.
Okay.
Take along a non-recoil energy projector so you can push the dirt and rocks away from the door of it and get abroad.
And then what?
Then take out the radio and bring it in here. But be sure you leave the path to the door of that rocket ship clear.
How come?
I want that ship to be ready for immediate takeoff, just as soon as it gets dark.
Okay, Chief, I'll do it right away. How about bringing the ship up out of its hole onto the level ground?
Not much. That would leave it in plain sight of anybody who might be flying around looking for us.
Oh, yeah.
Having that natural waterfall out there to cover up the entrance to this headquarters is a real help.
Yes. And right here in this old laboratory of Professor Smith's, we have all the scientific apparatus we could possibly want, Adela. Our setup is perfect.
Well, what are we going to do with it?
Before anything else, Adela, we must send Barney out after supplies and equipment.
Whoa there, Kane. Wouldn't it be much safer for you to go?
Not by a long shot. The minute anyone in this country saw me on the loose, every radio in America would start buzzing. But Barney's all right. People are used to seeing him around, and no matter what he might be doing, nobody would try to interfere with him.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Of course I am. The only thing he'll have to do is stay clear of Niagara, where they know he's missing.
Yeah, so far as that's concerned, though, they probably know he's disappeared in every city of the country.
Adela, you seem to forget that our friend Barney is Prime Minister of Mars in his spare time. They wouldn't dare broadcast news of his disappearance in this day and age.
Okay. What are you going to have him do?
Go into a bunch of small towns and pick up all the weapons he can find. And bring us a good, fast space cruiser.
What would he do with the ship we have now?
Bring it along, too. It's equipped with magnetic grapples, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then all he needs to do is pick out a likely-looking battle cruiser, clamp onto it with the grapples, and bring it back here.
How about the chances of his rocket trail being picked up?
No chance. That ship carries a rocket dampener, which I hooked in. It'll leave such a faint trail that the wind will blow it away within a few minutes. Isn't as though he were flying out in space, you know, where there's no wind and a rocket trail stays put.
Okay. But don't you think this business of taking a lot of weapons from small towns is dangerous? Suppose somebody sees him taking them and gets suspicious.
Then all he needs to do is doff his flying helmet, look official, and pass some remark about being hot on the trail of Killer Kane and Adela.
And what about the chances of Barney's trying to double-cross us?
Don't worry. The psychic restriction ray has taken care of that. Well, here he is now.
And look at him. What happened to you, Barney?
I'm all right, Miss Adela. Only I got kind of wet coming through the falls.
Oh! Why didn't you use a force ray to push the water aside?
On account of I had to use both hands to carry this radio. Here you are.
Did you get that wet, too?
Yeah, Chief. I guess maybe it did a little.
Then we'll have to wait for it to dry out.
Maybe it'll work anyway. I'll plug it in and see.
All right. Now, Barney.
Yeah?
Just as soon as it gets dark, I want you to go out and get us a lot of equipment from the small towns that lie to the west of us.
Sure, Chief. Only wouldn't it be a good idea if I was to take along some atomic bombs with me?
Atomic bombs?
Sure. To blow up the municipal storehouse where I'm going to get the stuff.
No, Barney. This is one time you'll have to go about it very quietly and unobtrusively.
Yeah, very Huh?
Now listen carefully, and I'll tell you what you're to get. For transportation, of course, you can use the rocket plane. That's equipped with these gyros.
There you are, Doctor. The photoelectric cell unit is in.
Fine, Doc. Bring it over here, and we'll complete assembly of this gyrocosmic relativator.
Right, sir. There you are.
Will this be as good as the one on the ship Barney took away?
It's exactly the same, Wilma. With it, you'll be able to take off and immediately be going at tremendous speed without any loss of time for pickup.
And Killer Kane, but where?
Fasten the power terminal line, Buck, and it'll be all finished.
Okay. There you are.
Good. Now, it's all ready to be put aboard your space cruiser.
Well, then, let's go. I want to get back on Barney's rocket trail before the wind blows it away.
Right. Coming with us, Doctor?
No, Wilma, I'm afraid not. I'm very anxious to investigate the possible supply of impenetrite ore near Omaha just as quickly as I can.
Which will mean more of these relativators.
I hope so.
You want to open the door for me, please, Wilma, so I can carry this one out to the ship?
Surely, Buck.
Perhaps I'd better go out there with you to make sure you get it installed properly.
I wish you would, Doctor.
There you are, Buck.
Thanks. Oh, look.
What?
Well, yes. And it's coming right down here.
But so fast. Who's at the controls?
Whoever it is, he's going to crack up.
Then look out.
Get back, Wilma. Here he comes.
Here he goes.
Well, I wonder who and what under the sun that was. I certainly hope none of our friends got hurt. Fellas and girls, if you'd like a real treat, a wonderful treat, get yourself a creamsicle on a handy stick. Does that hit the spot? A great big chunk of delicious ice cream covered with chocolate fudge or pure fruit flavors. What a nickel's worth. Nourishing, cooling, and made fresh every day in only the best, sunny, inviting ice cream plants. Remember, Whether you buy creamsicle, popsicle, or fudgicle, be sure they're genuine. Look for the U.S. registered trademark name printed right on the bag.
Kids, save those bags. Get swell free gifts. Skates, table tennis, a sleeping doll, a wristwatch. Gee, everything you always wanted. But start right away. Because the more bags you save, the better presents you get.
Millions of visitors to the World's Fair have watched a giant computer register the increase in the Earth's population minute by minute. Somehow it scares you a little, doesn't it? Why? Listen to The Last Land Rush on Theater 5.
Theater 5 presents The Last Land Rush.
Attention, all citizens. Attention, all citizens. To do its part in alleviating the ever-expanding population explosion, the Department of Public Resources is pleased to announce that all grass divider strips on all public highways, parkways, and byways will be thrown open to private ownership. In keeping with the traditions and spirit that made this country great, the means of acquisition will follow the rules and regulations laid down over 100 years ago during the great Oklahoma land rush. On the 31st day of this month, all interested citizens will line the edge of the highways and wait for the starting gun. Any citizen can own any area he can stake and hold from noon of that day to noon of the following day. Further details will be announced over the system as they develop. This is a progress report in keeping with our policy of building a better world through communication and understanding.
Sue, did you hear the news?
No, what is it?
They're going to throw the parkway dividers open to private ownership.
Oh, that. Yes, I heard.
Don't you see what this means to us? We can have a place of our own.
I don't see how we could...
All we have to do is stake out a piece of ground and hold it for 24 hours. Then it's our land to build on or to do what we want.
But we don't have any money to build. You know that.
We don't have to have any money. All we need is the land. One of the big real estate development agencies will lease the land from us and incorporate it into a development called Inner Highway Apartments or something like that. They can build as high as they like and tunnel under the highways. With the price of land as high as it is these days, well, the money they pay will keep us the rest of our lives. We can retire.
Oh, Ross, I don't want to retire. All I want is a place we can call our own. A place where we can live together in privacy and raise a family.
Once we have the land, we can do that, too. We can make a deal that we have an apartment for ourselves as a part of the payment. We can still live on what's left over. But I thought we might take the money and move someplace else.
Where?
Oh, I don't know. They're building new developments in the Arctic Circle.
Oh, but that's so far from everything.
It would be cleaner and less crowded up there. In those cities under glass, there aren't half so many people per square foot as here.
But it would be so expensive to shuttle back and forth to see the folks. And everything we want is right here. The museum, the opera.
They have museums and opera up there.
But it isn't the same. It isn't New York. We're only an hour away from everything on the express tubes. New York, Washington, Detroit.
That's why land in this area is going to go so high. I understand people are coming in from as far away as South America.
Oh, please, Ross, can't we stay here?
We'll decide that later, but first we have to get the land.
Where are you going?
I've got to see a man about some
Oh,
equipment.
wait. But aren't we going to have lunch?
There isn't time. The big land grab will be at the end of the month. We've got to be ready now.
Where are you going?
I'll see you back at the
But I fixed lunch. I even got this place for us to sit down.
Sue?
Oh, what do you want?
We don't want to wake your parents or your grandmother. Get up and get dressed.
What for?
We're going up on the roof.
But what for?
surface so nobody will disturb us.
Ross, what have you got under that blanket?
Check to see if anybody's up here.
Okay. We're alone. Oh, no. No, there's a family sleeping over there.
Well, I'm afraid this is as private as it's going to get. Let's move over to the other side of the room.
Oh, Ross, they have nothing over them or anything. What if it rains?
They're probably just here for the land grab. They don't intend to stay.
Oh, and did you see that family on the second landing of the stairs? That baby looked half starved to death.
Sue, you can't think about that. There's too many people. This should be good enough.
What are you doing?
Tying a rope to this nail.
But what for?
We're going to make a lot of noise up here, and I want to get rid of the evidence as quickly as possible. The end of this rope just reaches down to our bedroom window.
What do you have in this blanket?
Open it and see.
All right. I still don't understand. What are these?
Submachine guns.
What?
Submachine guns. They used to use them years ago during the early 1900s.
I still don't understand.
Getting across the superhighway will only be half the problem. Staking out the land and holding it will be the other half. According to the rules and regulations, you can't use any modern-day weapons, but you can use anything made before the Second World War to protect your claim.
Oh.
I got these from an antique shop owner I know.
But what are we going to do with them?
They're a very effective weapon against a large number of people at close range. But they're difficult to hold on target. We'll have to practice firing them so they won't fly out of our hands the first time we fire.
You mean me? Why?
I'm sorry, Sue. The day they give that Parkway land away is not going to be pretty. You're going to have to get used to that.
Oh, Ross, I don't think I could kill anybody.
Sue, listen to me. Once we get across that parkway to the grass divider, I'll have to stake out the ground. Now, I could be rushed from behind, and you'll have to be ready to defend me.
All right, Ross. I'll try. Now, how do you hold it? Ow.
Look, first of all, you've got to remember to bear down on it as you fire.
Okay.
It bucks up, and it'll spray bullets in the air if you don't bear down.
Like this?
No.
So heavy.
Now, hold the butt of the gun close into your waist, like this.
Okay.
Now, aim at the skylight on the next building.
I'll try.
We'll fire one burst together and then throw the guns over the side.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Now, don't forget to pull down hard on the forward grip.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Quick, over the side.
Hey! What's going on? Huh?
Quick, over the side.
What's the town?
I don't know. I never heard anything like it before. It sounded to me like it came from the other building.
What was it, Charlie?
Oh, somebody set up a commotion next door.
Hush, children. Now it's all right.
I wonder what it was. I never heard anything like it before.
Neither have I. It sounded like an explosion of some kind.
Well, I guess everything's all right. Good night. You think people will have a little more consideration?
Hey, you think they would, wouldn't you? Good girl, Susie. You hit your target.
Many people before.
Hold my hand so we don't get separated.
All right. Where do you think they all came from?
All over. Canada, Bolivia, Houston.
Look. There's a man from our building.
Now, most of them are from right around here.
Oh.
There are enough people right in this area to populate the grass divider strips 100 times over.
Watch where you're going, will you?
Oh, sorry.
Can't you see when people are at work?
What is that, a tunnel?
What's it look like, a spaceship?
Well, the rules and regulations say you're not allowed to tunnel under the highway. You're supposed to cross over the surface.
We'll worry about the rules and regulations once we get across the parkway to that dividing strip there in the center. When you get your piece of land, nobody's going to ask you how you got it.
How much would you charge to let us use it?
Forget it. Me and my buddies built this, and we're the only ones going to use it. Now move out of here, will you? You're kicking sand in a hole.
This way, sir.
Aren't we going to try and get closer to the edge of the highway?
No, we want to stand back on this rise.
But Ross, why?
You'll see.
Machine gun is heavy.
Keep it covered. We don't want anybody trying to take it away from us before we need it.
I'm trying.
All citizens. Attention, all citizens. It has been decided by the Committee on Rules and Regulations that traffic will not be stopped in the supersonic lane.
Oh, Ross.
Drivers will proceed at their own the supersonic lanes.
Do they realize what they're doing?
Of course they do.
All over the country. People are going to try and cross the highways at the same time. Why, more people will be killed today than in all the wars that ever were.
That's the point of the whole thing. Open up what little land is left, a little, and relieve the population pressure at the same time.
Attention! Attention, all citizens wishing to synchronize their watches with the atomic clock at Greenwich. The time is now 11:52 and 3 seconds. The countdown will start at 11:59 and 45 seconds. The signal gun will be fired at 12 noon. No citizen will attempt to cross the highways before that time. Any contestant attempting to do so will be destroyed by the highway controls. Thank you.
Okay, come on, let's move back this way.
Away from the highway, we'll be the last ones across.
The first ones will be hit by cars. We'll wait until enough of them are out there to stop traffic. Then we won't have to worry about that. This should be good enough.
You, gonna cross to the big land grab, lady? What? Oh, yes.
Sue, let's move on.
I thought so with all that fancy equipment you got on. And boots and knapsacks and all. Are you going across? If we can. Originally, my husband and me was going, but we got separated in the crowd. Now it's just me and the kids.
Sue, I think we ought to move over here further.
I guess we'll try and get across and maybe hold on to something. Maybe if we get a piece of land, he'll find us. It's going to be tough. With 2 kids and a baby.
Sue, come on.
Well, I wish you luck. Same to you, lady. Ross, why did you pull me away like that for?
Because you can't afford to get involved with any of these people.
And why not?
Because once we get to the highway island, it will be everyone for himself.
Stay back from the edge of the highway. All contestants must stay off the highway until the starting gun is sounded. Violators will be destroyed. It is now 45 seconds before the hour. We will start the countdown in exactly 30 seconds. Remember, you must stake your claim in the prescribed manner with ropes and stakes and hold it against all comers until noontime tomorrow. Please stay back of the curb until you hear the gun. Stay back until you hear the gun fired. 15 seconds. 14, 13, 12. Stay back of the line. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nobody's moving.
They're all afraid.
Oh, it feels like the calm before the storm.
Something's got to be done to start them off.
All right, everybody. There's the land. Let's go.
Stay back, Sue.
Let's go!
Look, they started. Come on, Sue. The cars are starting to pile up. Hold my hand, Sue.
What are we doing to each other?
Take your breaks this way. Come on, we'll head to the high ground.
Oh, it's insanity.
Hold on and keep running.
Where are we going?
That patch of ground up ahead.
Listen, we'll never get there in time.
If I can stake it, we can hold it. Get your machine gun out.
Ross, I can't. I don't think I can.
You have to. You have to keep them off me while I stake the ground.
Ross, I can't.
You have to, Sue. You have to. Get your gun out and hold them off. I can't protect myself and stake at the same time.
They're coming up the hill.
Fire into them. Scare them back.
I can't.
Sue, you have to.
I can't.
I've only got 2 more stakes to go.
Please.
Fire, Sue! Fire!
Ross, how many people do you think we killed today?
I don't know.
100? 2?
Sue, don't think about it. Try and get some sleep. I'll keep the fire going.
All right.
You'll need to be fresh for tomorrow.
Hello there.
Who's there?
Hello. You there by the fire. Ross, it's the the woman we saw on the other side of the highway.
Stay on the other side of the road.
I seen your fire, and I wondered if I might come over a minute and heat some water on it. My baby's sick, and I thought something warm might comfort him.
No, go away. We've got nothing here for you.
Oh, Ross, we can let her come in just to warm up something for the baby.
No, if we do that, she'll stay until tomorrow.
Oh, Ross.
If she's here when the gun goes off tomorrow at noon, she'll own as much of this property as we do.
Oh, please, let me near the fire. This baby's awful sick.
Stay back of the road or I'll shoot.
Please let her in, Ross, for the baby.
Well, suppose she doesn't leave when you want her to.
I'll handle it.
Well, all right, but I don't like it.
If we let you come near the fire, will you leave when we ask you to? Oh, yes, lady, yes. All I want is to get this baby warmed up. Hey, didn't I talk to you on the other side? Yes. Yes, you did. You two did pretty good for yourselves. What happened to the other children? Didn't you have two more? I lost them in the crossing. I told them to hang on to me, but they couldn't. Couldn't be helped. Maybe they'll turn up. Guess I could count myself lucky to be alive. Here, do you want me to take the baby? Oh, no, he's sleeping now. I guess he'll be all right now. Maybe if I could just lay down for a minute. I'm so tired.
Sue.
Oh, that's all right, mister. I know the rules as well as you do. I don't intend to stay past the time when the gun goes off. If you just let me lay down for a little while here. Of course it would be all right. You just get some sleep, and we'll wake you when it's time to go. Sure was good of you people to fix me breakfast and all. I never really meant to stay this long. Oh, that's all right. Oh, I really appreciate it. I just want you to know that.
All land claimants. Attention, all land claimants. It is now 11:58. The noon bell will sound in exactly 2 minutes. The new land will legally become the property of those who have successfully homesteaded the highway dividing island.
Oh, my goodness, I had no idea it was so late. I better be going or we'll wind up sharing ownership of this piece of ground.
Here, let me help you.
Oh, all right, mister, if you'd just hold the baby a minute while I tie my shawl. Look out! No, lady, you look out. If you don't want to see your boyfriend cut in two with his machine. Stand back, you two. I know how to use this thing. I watched you all day yesterday, and I'm not afraid to use it either. Mister, put that baby down. You have no right to do that. Nobody has a right to anything but what they take. You've been very kind to me, so I'm not going to kill you, but get off my property before noon comes.
Shoot her, Sue.
She can't do that. Shoot the mother of a child? Never. She's much too uncivilized for that. She's a throwback to a different time, a different way of life. She won't shoot me, but I will shoot the two of you if you don't get off my property.
The time is now 11:59 and 15 seconds. The countdown will start in exactly 15 seconds.
Sue, you've got to shoot her. We'll lose everything we've worked for, everything we've dreamed of.
You think you're the only one who worked and planned and dreamed? You think I want to go back to that grasping, struggling, screaming mob any more than you do?
The countdown. 30, 29, 28.
Get off my property.
Don't just stand there. Shoot it.
You heard me. I said move.
21, 20. 19,
I don't want to kill the two of you, but I will if you don't move.
Sue, don't be a cowardly fool. Shoot.
I can't. If you're not on the other side of that rope by the time he reaches 5, I'll kill the both of you.
Sue, for heaven's sake.
Congratulations, new landowners. A government surveyor will visit your area to register your claim. Please be patient until he reaches.
Well, Sue, we won.
Yes. We're landowners now, aren't we?
Yes. How does it feel?
Lonely. Ross. Very lonely.
Theater 5 has presented The Last Land Rush, written by George Bamber and directed by Ted Bell. In the cast, Dwight Weiss, Wayne Tippett, Rosemary Rice, Sam Raskin, Fran Carlin, and Cecil Roy. Audio engineer Neil Pulse. Sound technician Terry Ross. Script editor Jack C. Wilson. Original music by Alexander Vlastotsenko. Orchestra under the direction of Glenn Osser.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X minus 1. Tonight's story, Shanghai.
Okay, very funny, very funny. Think it over, boy. Tomorrow the old ball and chain.
Yeah. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you commit matrimony.
Come on. We came down here to Scarlet Square to have a little fun. We might as well be at my mother's musicale in Beacon Street. Oh, the problems of the rich. Tell me, Jeff, just where does the coffin fortune come from? Pirate treasure? No, I guess it started in Nantucket. My great something or other used to be a whaler. Oh, whaler! There she blows!
A dead whale or a stove boat. Watch my trusty harpoon.
Hey, well, look out for the fort. Oh, my. Where's the money now? Oh, I don't know. We've got a lot of commercial holdings, mills, import-export outfits, rocket lines, you know.
Mere trivia.
All right, now look, why don't we get out of this dump? We could go up to the Copley Plaza. It may be stuffy, but at least the glasses are clean. Well, you're the condemned man. All right, you two go ahead and get in the car. I'll settle.
All right, meet you out in front.
Right. Excuse me.
You want something, Bud?
Yeah, the check.
Okay. Hey, Milton, check.
He'll be right out. Right, thank you.
Hello, mate. Nice night, eh?
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
I've been watching you. Celebrating?
Sort of.
Yeah, so am I. Just got off a deep space run out to Centaurus.
Oh, that's a 15-year run, isn't it?
15 and 3 blooming months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how'd you know? You a spaceman?
No, not exactly. Where's that check, barkeep?
Hang on to your hat, Bud. Milton's slow, but he's sure.
Fill it up, Charlie. Say, why don't you join me, matey? Yeah, Charlie.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, come on. Won't take off him, no?
Well...
Celebrate whatever it is you're celebrating on me. Pour it, Charlie.
Okay.
Well, all right, thank you. I guess I might as well.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah, right, cheers. Oh, what was that, Varnish?
Charlie's special brand, eh, Charlie?
Yeah.
Well. Oh, say, look, Charlie, would you get that waiter out here? I've got to meet...
Hey, what's your hurry, matey? You got plenty of time.
Sure. Sit down.
Take it easy. You don't look so good.
No, I don't feel so good.
Now, sit right here. You feel chipper as a blooming grasshopper in a sec.
No, I've got to get outside. The car's in a hurry. Where's the check? The check? Oh.
All right, matey. Up on your feet. Wakey.
Oh, all right, let go of me. What's the idea?
Rise and shine and greet the dawn.
What? Where am I? What's going on here?
Come on now, matey. Up in there. Wakey.
No, wait a minute. Say, you were at that bar, Scarlet Square.
Come on now, up on deck or you'll be in trouble.
Deck? What are you talking about? Where am I?
And it's hard to say exactly. Offhand, about 8 hours out of Atlantic Spaceport.
Atlantic Spaceport? Now, look, what kind of a joke is this? If Alan and Peter think this is funny... What ship is this?
R.S. Michael M. Rafferty, Coffin Line.
Oh, Coffin Line. Well, that makes it easy. Now, you've got to put back to port.
Forget your toothbrush, Banks.
No, listen, you runt. You take me to the captain or I'll tear you apart.
Here, darling, grab my jacket.
All right, get moving.
Sure, mate, here. I'll take you to the captain. Bet you're going to be sorry.
Morton, what the devil are you doing on the bridge? Get below before
Right away, sir. Only this here gentleman asked to see you.
Yeah, that's right, Captain. There's been a mistake made. I'm afraid it was supposed to be a joke.
Oh?
Yes, you see, I'm going to be married today, and I suppose the boys thought it'd be funny to make me miss the ceremony. I'm sure it won't be too much trouble to have you drop me off back at the Atlantic Spaceport.
What? Morton, what is this?
Well, it's simple, Captain. He wants you to turn the ship around, that's all.
Now, look, if there's any trouble with your superior, I'm sure I can fix it up. You see, I'm Jeff Coffin.
Yeah?
Well, you don't understand. My father is Cyrus Coffin. He owns this ship.
Oh, he does, Morton, get this drunk below.
Now, just a minute. I can understand you not believing me, but I can identify my... Hey, where's my wallet? I've been robbed. Oh, now, look, Captain, wait a minute. All you have to do is radio back and check.
Mr. Black, remove this man from the bridge.
Yes, but...
Aye, sir. You heard the captain, Buster.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Let go of me. This is no way to treat a passenger.
Passenger? Huh. Wake up, sonny boy. You're one of the crew. Now get below.
All right now, mate. Grab yourself a buffer. Get to work on those deck
No,
plates.
look, they can't get away with this. This is kidnapping.
Perhaps yes, perhaps no. I'll get this here deck nice and shiny, and we might even see about some grub. I'll be back in 2 hours. And mind you, I want to be able to see me bloomin' reflection in it.
You better polish that deck plate.
They can't get away with this.
Well, the law says once you sign on, you're under absolute orders. I looked it up.
Yeah, but I didn't sign on. I was kidnapped.
You won't be able to prove it. Come on, mister, please. I didn't get anything to eat yet today, so give me a break, huh?
All right. What do you do, run the buffer over it?
Yeah, that's right. Like this.
You sign on?
Yeah, I ran away from home.
How old are you?
16. 30 when we get back.
Yeah. What do you mean 30? We're headed for Mars, aren't we?
Only to refuel. We're outbound to Centaurus.
Oh, no, it can't be. Well, that's a 15-year run. Morton! I've got to get back.
It's no use.
I'm getting married. My bride-to-be will think I'm dead. Martin! Martin!
What's up here? You want me to call Mr. Black again? He'll give you what for.
Listen to me, Morton. Listen, I've got to get back to Earth. I can't disappear for 15 years.
Oh, is that the fact?
Look, we stop at Mars, right?
Yes, and you'll be below decks under lock and key.
Listen to me. If I can make it worth your while, will you get me off at Marsport?
Jumping ship, huh? That's real naughty, mate.
$1,000?
Why, what would I tell me poor old mother in better say?
2,000.
5 in advance.
What do you mean in advance? You're probably the one that rolled me for my wallet.
I'll find a way. They don't believe your young Coffin, but maybe I know better. All right, it's a deal.
Look, Mr. Coffin, can you take me with you? I didn't realize what it would be like. I can pay my share. I could work it out for you, or maybe borrow money. I couldn't stand 15 years. I'd go crazy.
All right, sure. What about it, Morton?
Oil cost you another 1,000.
You cheap swindler.
Here now, Mr. Coffin. I'm all what stands between you and a lovely pleasure cruise for 15 years. So I'll thank you to treat me with a respect and politeness what a gentleman like myself deserves.
Stand by. Stand by for landing procedure.
All right now. Listen careful. This is the cable locker for the grappling anchor.
Right.
When she lands, this hatch'll open. Cables go out. Don't get yourself caught in them. You'll be tore apart.
All right, we've got that.
Are you sure we can get out?
Now, you just do what I say. When we drop down to the blast pit, nobody'll be there. Lie low in the pit till dark. Got that?
Right. Now, look, Morton, I'll tell the patrol you helped us get away. That'll help you when they catch up with this gang.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. I've got to get to my station now. Luck.
Thanks. Thanks, Mr. Morton.
Well, there's a landing horn. Now keep clear of that cable, Joey. Here we go. Hold on tight.
There goes the grappling cable.
Yeah. All right, come on. Drop through the hatch. It's about 6 feet. All right, it's clear. Hurry up.
Here I come. Oh.
You all right?
Yeah, I twisted my ankle. It's all right.
All right, there's the blast pit. Get going.
Right.
Now, we're all right so far. The ship hides us.
Here's the pit.
All right, now get down so they can't see you. Wait a minute. I hear somebody coming. Keep still.
Maybe we better look.
Look, if we stick our heads up over the edge, they'll see us sure. Now keep down and keep still.
I hear him.
Shh.
Well, well, well. Look what we have here. 2 little babes in the wood. Now, you two move and I'll shoot you in the belly. Morton, you got good eyes.
Oh, I told you, so I'm coming this way, Mr. Black. Jumping ship. My, that's a terrible thing to do.
Mr. Black, inform the ship's company that these 2 men have been found guilty of attempted desertion.
Desertion? You kidnapped me, you dirty crook.
Don't you talk to Captain Howell that way.
I'm sentencing them to 24 hours hull watch. Take them away.
Morton, take him to the aft lock.
I said. You calm down after 24 hours hull watch.
What's hull watch?
Very simple. We put you 2 in spacesuits, shove you through the airlock on the end of a line. You sit out there and watch the hull for 24 hours. No food, no water, and the eating units in those suits are just a little bit defective. Makes it interesting along about the 18th hour.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Here we are, gentlemen. The airlock. You get in there. Got 5 minutes to get into them suits before we blow the air out. See you in 24 hours. Maybe. Welcome back to our little home.
Water. Water.
Thirsty, eh? You should control these animals' instincts.
Get water.
Right, yeah? Yeah. Slopping like a bloody animal.
Joey passed out. Help him.
He'll be all right. Teach a lesson, both of you. Take my advice and behave yourself. You got 15 years to go on this here ship. You might as well make the best of it.
Hey, Martin! What do you call this mess?
That's your supper, mighty food concentrates.
What's the idea? Only 2 months out and on concentrates already?
You complaining?
Yeah, I'm complaining. If Captain Howell's chiseling on the manifest, that's his business. But when he tries to take it out in our hides...
You keep quiet or I'll turn you into Mr. Black. Concentrate is what you get to eat from here on out. Now shove it into your face and keep quiet.
Suppose I shove it into your face and see how you like it. What's going on in here? What's going on? Morton.
He struck me, Archwant.
48 hours hull watch. All right, what are you all looking at? Get back into your places. Morton, bring that man down to the aft airlock.
It's murder, that's what. Plain murder.
Space Code gives a 30-hour limit for punishment.
They didn't even have a burial. Just shoved them out the lock.
The Well, if the owners knew about this, they'd stop it.
Fat lot of good that's going to do us during the next 15 years.
Wait a minute, if we could get the ship back to Mars.
No, 2 weeks after we landed, we'd be hung. That's what Space Code says about mutiny. And if they catch you in the act, they shoot you down and no questions.
All right, I'm willing to take that chance. We're going to let Black and Howell kick us around for 15 years? Why don't we take over and head back?
Right.
I'm for it.
Let's go.
You bet.
Yeah.
Going to interrupt something, gentlemen? Discussion? Talking about the captain, maybe?
Grab him.
Here, because
Throw him into the jet. Come on.
Oh, have you all out of the oil and shifts? Also, your knife rations, that's what I'll...
Show him my oil rag, Morton.
Well, that's done it. He's an officer.
Who cares?
Yeah, we've got to move now. Joey?
Yeah?
You get up to the radio room and smash the set before they can get a message out.
Right.
Pop, you get aft. Tell the engine watch.
Yes.
The rest of us will go up on the bridge.
How about this rat?
Tie him up. Speed counts now. We've got to take over before they know what hit them. All right, careful. We've got to surprise them.
Don't worry, we'll get him cold.
Jeff.
Shh, quiet.
Sparks were sending when I got in, but I knocked them out and smashed the set. We're okay.
Good boy. All right, come on. Right past the bulkhead.
Look out!
The blast bulkhead.
Yeah, we're cut off from the bridge.
We'll never get through that.
They must have found out somehow.
The intercom. Black can turn it on from the bridge. You heard the whole thing.
We better get out of here.
What'll they do?
I don't know.
We got all the controls up there. We can shut down the driver, but we can't steer.
Yeah. You better dog down the hatch behind us.
All right, men. Captain Howell's giving you 1 minute to give up quiet.
In a pig's eye, Black.
You'll hang for mutiny, every one of you.
What do we do now?
Quiet. They can hear everything on the intercom.
If I pull the jack out.
That's the boy. Look, we've got to get through to the bridge.
It's a Mexican standoff. We can't get at them. They can't get at us.
What's that?
It's an air leak. The pressure's down.
It's Howell. He blew the